Just realized I needed to unmute. Hello there, folks. This is Dr. Dino here with another Creation Science Theater. Tonight I'm joined by the lovely Ember.
Hello. We're doing a
and
test today.
and the handsome Mrs. Dino / Kiki. Today we have a couple videos. We'll see how much we get through. Should be entertaining.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Maya.
The first one is a couple creationists complaining about, pterosaurs and feathers. And they get a few things wrong. I mean, go figure. The second one's going to be, well, again, feather related, but it's a bit more egregious, at least in my opinion.
I mean, well, it just occurred to me I did 5 hours of creationist stuff earlier today. And now we're doing some more.
Recording for the future?
No, I was doing a live stream of the book SFT and company wrote.
Oh, you were live streaming it. Oh no.
Ouch.
Not to worry though. Today was part 2. I put it together with part 1, and we're gonna release it as a Dapper Dino style movie. 9 hours of debunking SFT's book.
Oh no.
What's the main? I think he has a few books. What's the main content of this one?
I'd say he spends the most time on human evolution, but it's not really on human evolution. It's more the Piltdown Man and Nebraska Man and that kind of stuff.
Oh, wait, is this the book that Erica covered?
I don't know. I haven't seen Erica cover a book.
I think she covered SFT's book on human evolution.
He does have a few. I will see if I can find such a thing.
I think it's her Library of Errors series, which I personally really enjoy. They're fun to just sit down and listen to for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Because she's long-winded in a good way.
Yeah, it's so weird how she thinks that everybody gets mad about her long videos, but actually we often go looking for them. We're like, okay, I've got 4 hours. Erica, you're up,
Yeah. Oh, is the book Why Human Evolution is False?
Nope, this one's called Genesis Verified, and it only mentions Genesis twice, and it's just citations. It's like just a line. Like, wow. Awesome.
She has an 11-part series on his other book then.
Oh, damn.
She's thorough.
I mean, true, but that's still more than I would expect for a single book. Unless that's really big.
Well, to be fair.
Yeah, that actually looks about right.
Sorry, I just had a swing of vertigo out of nowhere.
My.
I think I'm okay.
Ooh. Gotta watch out for that stuff.
It happens sometimes. Ugh.
Well, yeah, you dealt with a bunch of dust. You might just be congested.
Yeah, that's true. I got to open one of my fossils today, and I got to chunk through some of the plaster.
Yeah. Hell yeah! I don't suppose you have pictures, because people have been itching to see their fossils.
I actually do. No fossil exposed yet, and all the rock is absolutely coated in dust.
It's pretty dirty.
But yeah, this is the specimen. We're starting at the back end, so we don't damage the fossil by cutting through the plaster, because the plaster is really thick and really uneven. And then the fossil's just nicely outlined on the opposite side. So we're going to cut off the back half and then slowly work our way down to where the bone is. And personally, I'm hoping to maybe find a few random teeth mixed in, which wouldn't be too out of the ordinary for the formation they're from. But fortunately, we did get a good look at the rock, and my my supervisor is pretty sure he knows where it came from now. So we know the provenance, which that's good, at least.
Progress and things.
Yeah, from the late Jurassic Morrison formation. And I also actually did a few measurements on the bone, and pretty sure I actually know what we have now too. Like the animal. The bone's nicely enough outlined, and apparently the humerus and the femur are very diagnostic characters of dinosaurs. You know what? I can actually get a picture.
The internets are wonderful.
Yes.
Sometimes.
So what I'm working with are two individuals that are most likely Camarasaurus. It's kind of related to Brachiosaurus, but smaller. And I have the humerus from a large juvenile and the femur of a fully grown adult. It's gonna... the femur is gonna take a while, but the humerus shouldn't take too long.
I don't know. Watch out for funny business.
It's mostly just gonna be flaking away rock and painting it in a consolidant.
I forgot to open up my effects board, so I can't badum tiss until
Oh no.
Oh dear. Oh yes, and lest we forget, Grayson had a little impromptu debate with Kent Hovind last night, and as far as we know, is home safe and sound. He did not get
Lost.
accidented at DAL.
Well, we did warn him not to swim in the pond.
And I told him to check his brake lines before he left.
Yeah, I'd check a few things before I left.
I said brake lines, engine, and gas tank.
You know what I mean.
By all accounts, they were perfectly nice to him.
Yeah, supposedly. But I don't know. I don't know if Grayson's from the country or from a city. And in the country, there's a special kind of niceness you reserve for people you hate.
Yeah.
Like, suspiciously nice. You put a toe out of line, the cops aren't going to find you.
Well, you know, I think Grayson is from Dallas, that general area, anyhow. Not to dox. He's been public about that.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember in Erica's review of their other book, they had hyperlinks in the text and just straight up links. Was that in your book too?
Yep. They actually had. Oh, I don't want to look up what page it was. I'll see if I can find it flipping through. But there's actually an audio file. Shoot.
In a printed book.
Yes. These guys are not great.
Edited this.
Well,
Are they self-published?
That's what I kept saying.
I think Raw Matt is the main editor.
Okay, but
he is a very stupid person.
Where was it?
That would explain that, I guess. Unfortunately.
Well, I mean, so they just grab stuff from the internet and just put it in a box and throw it on the page. And half of the shit you can't even read because they scale it down so small that the letters are actually smaller than the resolution of the printer. It's pretty special.
They did So for context, I have studied some typographical and graphic design stuff, various art things.
You have a
That is
degree.
That is one of the most basic things you learn. Ah! Pain.
And
It's fantastic that you both screech in pain in the same way.
we've been together a couple years. Not sure who started it, but
I mean, for all I know, it started with my dad. We screech at each other the same.
yeah, fair.
Aha.
But yeah, Ramat is a breatharian. Do you know what they are?
I've
what
heard
now?
the term.
They think you only need to breathe to survive. Or there's some secret way of
Oh,
breathing.
those guys. Oh, yeah, there's a reason I had forgotten that. There's a reason I don't remember certain things is because they are just that awful.
Mhm.
Well, you know,
So,
Sherlock Holmes
hello
once
to-
said,
really quick, hello to Beamsy and hello to Bree. Bzz, bzz.
"It's a breeze."
'Cause-
It's nice to see that you're talking about what Ember was getting up to Raw this morning.
Yes. I know.
That was painful.
Well, okay, so, we got, yesterday we did the 1.5K stream, and it was such a party. We ended up unlocking 3 emoji slots. So we had the third vote this morning, and Tangent Queen won, so I'm tangenting so we can use the tangent. That's it.
We go on tangents a lot. Ember has some
I
emoji
was
for it.
just struggling with the so-called phrasing. Anyway,
Anyway, we
You'll
are
get
here
used
to
to that
watch
with
a
me.
video.
Hey, the members voted on it. I just, I'm just doing what the people want.
sure.
Was Damn It Beamsy on the chopping block? Because
No,
didn't realize there was
I
a
have,
button that would have voted
I
for
have
it.
thought about doing a Damn It Beamsy, but 2 problems. The first is that I like to Damn It Beamsy manually when Beamsy does a thing. I can't find the stupid audio file. The second is not so much a Beamsy thing, but a people thing. The last time a person got their own custom emoji on the channel, they turned into a gigantic transphobe and tried to blow up the channel. So we're maybe not a good
not
idea to do
cool.
that again.
Fair.
Yes.
I'm not sure I recall who that was.
I know who's referring to, but we won't mention names.
Yar.
That's fair. On a brighter note, pterosaurs.
Yay!
Feathers on pterosaurs, are they real? And what are the implications for the evolutionary theory about the origin of birds? That's the topic for today's Creation Talk. I'm Keaton Halley, and I'm here with my colleague Joel Tay.
Hi, everyone.
So, Joel, the springboard for our discussion is actually a paper that you wrote on this subject, and you were
For
responding to a
creation.com.
Yep, I believe this is Creation Ministries International.
Why does that look more like a blog than a paper?
Couldn't tell you. Also, hello, Bree.
Whee!
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, what have I
Are they
missed?
referring? Just more.
Oh,
us
we
talking
just
about
started.
stupid stuff. Are they actually claiming that there are flight feathers on pterosaurs, or that they actually had a feather covering? Because they're 2 very, very different statements.
Pycnofibers.
So these guys are going to take it in the stupidest way you can imagine. That said, in the last few years in paleontology, there has been a shift away from saying pycnofibers.
Oh,
Be-
did I just
well,
do a
I
bad
mean-
thing?
You've offended
it's
all the
more so-
pterosaurs in chat.
It's
Oh,
more
I'm
so, and
so
actually
sorry.
the pterosaur we have on screen here, Jehalopterus, which can't really see that well, was pretty instrumental. On that animal, they found, I think it was 6 or 7 different types of feathers, as in they are near indistinguishable from those found in many dinosaurs and birds. Not only that, but since we can turn crocodile scoots into feathers with a flip of a simple gene, it seems pretty likely that feathers are ancestral to archosaurs. So there's no need to call them pycnofibers. They are just feathers.
Side note, how cool is our technology that you can just casually say with the flip of a simple gene?
Well, so you were Amber. You talked
I
about
think
the
it's one
rooster.
regulatory gene.
You talked about the rooster you had when you were growing up recently. I remember it had the feathers all the way down to its feet. The one that liked to steal all the eggs and sit on them.
Oh, yeah, that was a mama chicken. She was a hen,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, they always say I don't know why I said rooster, but the same genes that turn the scales on her legs to feathers, right? That's the same genes that they're flipping it on and off. They flip on and off naturally, or you can breed them to flip off naturally.
So we could
Selectively.
just use controlled reproduction to get floofy gators. I'm
Yeah,
sure
so we've
Pragmatic
been-
Crystal
yeah.
would love that.
And here's a life reconstruction of the pterosaur I was just talking about. It is adorable, and I love them.
He looks
they are
like a
in-
flying gremlin.
That
They're in the
Kayakasaurus,
Jurassic World game I have, and I make them in every single park I do.
They're great.
that Kayakasaurus the channel that I showed you a couple days ago, I think last week or whatever.
Yes.
He makes one of these, a life-size one, like a plushie one.
Oh,
It's
that's
really
great.
really gorgeous.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really adorable, and their body is covered again with 5 or 6 different types of feathers.
But I'm quite sure that they still have the leathery wings, similar what we've always encountered, but no feathers on them.
That I'm not 100. That I can't say. I don't know on that bit.
Nor can I. I'm
but-
just a bit unsure because I haven't
But
heard anything.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had like really tiny feathers to help with thermoregulation, but I can't say for sure.
There weren't flight feathers on there.
No, not flight feathers. And then more recently, there was another study that came out talking about a pterosaur called Tupandactylus, which people might recognize this as the base for the thumbnail for tonight. You can just plainly see right here, there are branching patterns of feathers from all over its body.
We're a
It
very
is
floofy.
beautiful. Yeah. It's incredible.
And fluffy.
And they are indistinguishable from dinosaur feathers.
What can we feed it? What will we feed it? Is this sweet? Can we give it some fish? Is it one
Fish
little
and
lizard?
small vertebrates.
Maybe a bug? Would it eat a bug if I gave it a bug? I got feeder roaches.
Maybe a big bug, like a big scarab.
Madagascar hissing cockroach or something.
I could go with a rat. Probably eat a
Yeah.
rat.
You
So,
think it would eat
hello,
fruit?
tell me more. Hello, hello.
Hey guys,
Howdy.
I wonder if it
how's
eats
it
fruit.
going?
Hello.
Maybe. And pretty good. I think you said in the chat earlier you were researching Dino Fuzz recently.
Yeah, I've been going through a paleontology textbook, and it was like 2 or 3 chapters ago. It was touching on feathers and stuff on dinosaurs, and there's a bit about the pycnofibers on pterosaurs.
All right. Well, we're going to be going over some more feathers and fluffiness tonight, so I hope you're prepared.
Don't make me play it.
As for those who don't know, Beamsy sent a clip. It's so fluffy I'm gonna die from Despicable Me, and yes, that is
Accurate.
that is this beautiful,
Mhm.
beautiful little boy.
Yes.
It's just a little guy.
It really is. It's tiny. It could sit on your shoulder.
I want 10 of them. We shall have an army.
And the weird thing is, I think it's one of the smaller members of its group. Like here's a size comparison to a human. Like it's the size of a cockatoo.
Hmm. Who needs flying monkeys?
That's got to be what they the inspiration was for the dragon and How to Train Your Dragons.
Yeah,
Toothless?
like toothless. Yeah.
I don't know when
When was it found?
I don't know when the one it would be designed after was discovered.
Because like it's even got the
Oh wait,
on that
actually, yeah, it could be. So
1923?
Gehelopterus is part of a group called the Neuronathids, basically frog mouths. And apparently the first one was discovered in the 20s. So it could be, actually.
yeah, that
These
darker
guys
one
definitely
had
ate
the
bugs,
head
though.
ridges like the dragon did.
What was that?
Well, I was making an observation about the black one that was on screen. It had like those little ridges above the eyebrow or above the eye, like a brow.
Yeah,
And,
those are stylistic based on great horned owls.
Right. Yeah.
The designer actually confirmed that, and I'm all here for it. Like that's the kind of speculation I like in paleo art.
Well, I just found out that, yes, I can guarantee Toothless was actually based on the Vetrodon, both in name
what?
and image.
Hmm.
Do you know what their name means?
It was based on Dimetrodon? Or, sorry, Dimorphodon?
That one.
Pteranodon.
Was based on Pteranodon. Are you sure? Or
Yes.
Or a pterosaur?
That means winged toothless. That's why it was based on that one.
Makes sense.
Huh. I wouldn't have picked it. Honestly, I wouldn't have figured that. Like I would have gone.
No.
I would have thought in a Neuronathed, but maybe. Or is that from a like blog or creator interview or?
Kind of a mixture of the two, but the creators talking about what they did with the background of Pixar's.
All right then. Citation needed.
Yep. I saw. So I hit my button.
I'm trying to get more information. I'll give it to you if I can find it.
10-4 for now. Let's see what stupid crap they say.
2018 paper out in one of the sister journals of Nature.
Yes.
And this paper had to do with, it was a couple pterosaur fossils that they found. They claimed that these pterosaurs were covered in feathers or something like feathers. So we're going to talk about that. Why don't we start by defining for our audience what is a pterosaur to begin with?
Okay, so a pterosaur is a flying reptile. So if you watch movies,
Ugh.
Yeah, they have to show Jurassic World.
Of course.
It's a pterosaur.
If you're gonna go for a Jurassic movie, go for Jurassic Park 3. Like that scene in the aviary is, I still think, probably the best scene in the movie.
In 3,
Why
yeah,
would
definitely.
they do that? It's not popular.
Wait, though, are you sure? Because the picking up, well, I did that in Jurassic World too, picking people up with their feet. That's just I cannot stand when they have pterosaurs do that.
Yeah, they couldn't do that, but I will say the scene itself is solid. Like it is terrifying to see a walk out of the mist.
And the walk itself was actually pretty intense. Like it'd be terrifying to see something waddling along like that.
Uh-huh. Like that.
You gotta love the horror movie moments in the dinosaur films.
Just imagine like a 5 foot tall, or well, 6 foot tall bat. And all right, I found the scene
There it is.
muted, but like, God, that is terrifying.
Extremely.
And the weird thing is, though, they gave them teeth. They gave Pteranodon, the wing without teeth in that movie. But movie's got a movie. I still think it's a fun scene.
Hell yeah.
There'll be dinosaurs, but they are not dinosaurs. They are flying reptiles.
Dinosaurs, technically speaking, at least, are a land-based
Yeah, they're
creature
land
with legs,
creatures.
right? Like,
Terrestrial creatures.
yeah. And I always get confused between pteranodon and pterosaur. You know, which is like the broader.
Pterosaurs is just a broad term for all of these flying reptiles.
Okay, so a pteranodon would be one type of.
Yes.
Got it correct.
Other kinds would include like.
Man, that looks familiar.
Yeah,
Yep.
Is that a Quetzal?
Yep. And terrifying.
that is the Quetzalcoatlus at the Field Museum.
Ah.
Those things.
It doesn't even do it justice to see it this way. You have to go see it in person, and it's like absolutely massive. It's amazing.
It is the height of
Flying
a giraffe. And it would have eaten things about your size.
Yeah. Yeah. And you made me stand under it.
Yes, I did.
I hated it.
Did you
It was awful.
Did you pose with a katana fighting it? That would have been cool.
No, I am terrified. I do not like the Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatlus.
Do you think Sue would
I
protect
don't like
you
it.
from it?
I hate it. No, this is one of the few occasions where I would run and hide. Usually I'm like, no, just give me a tank or something or a sword and I'll take care of it. But this is not one of those
Honey,
things.
this thing could gallop.
I said run and hide, honey.
So
It's got an 8-foot head. Where are you gonna hide?
what I'm hearing is they should do the next night at the museum at the Field Museum.
Oh, that
Oh my
would be
God, no.
awesome.
Oh my gosh!
So many
Bravo,
more
Lions!
dinosaurs.
What about this?
Uh,
Does they have a spino now?
Yeah, that's right. They have a Spinosaurus
yeah.
now. Just have it drop from the ceiling, and well, it wouldn't really chase very well, but it'd be neat.
yeah.
Just
They have
imagine Maximo coming to life.
Oh God.
They have a big old
Sue's
Tesla
head.
spondle too.
Sue's head is
Tesla
dislocated.
Yeah, and the room with the Charles Knight paintings all around. There's like a 9-foot long fossilized. Is
Is
Tesla
that the
spondle?
crocodilian?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
not a crocodilian. It was yeah. Is it that room? Is that the Charles Knight room?
No, this is the main hall. I was just gonna say, like,
Yeah.
here's Maximo. Imagine this thing being alive in a Night at the Museum movie.
Right. I'll tell you what. I'd be terrified of those two lions though. The ones that killed all those people. They're in there.
Oh, that's true. Those are there too. Oh, yeah, they also have a flying Quetzalcoatlus. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Look at that
Oh, yeah,
tail.
there's
Oh
two
my
of them.
gosh.
It's long.
That's what she said.
Anyone who hasn't been to the Field Museum, go to
Damn
the
it,
Field
Lucy.
Museum. They have some great stuff.
Oh yeah.
I have never been.
One-
I'm poorly traveled.
Ooh, the sarcophagus, the big one.
Look at those eyes. Its eyes point down so that it can see.
No
Kiki.
thoughts except murder.
It's like
Yeah, being that big, there's not much you're gonna have to look up to see.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, not even
Okay.
anything flying's gonna take you down.
Yeah.
Yeah, most everything's
Now,
probably
now I'm
gonna
just
be
thinking of that scene in Prehistoric Planet where two of these things scare off a T-Rex.
Is there anything extant that has eyes like this though that are basically pointed downward? It's so bizarre.
I mean, I think they're pointed down here so they look at people.
Yeah.
I
Well, even
don't
the-
know if they could do this.
The angle of the brow ridge and stuff, though. I mean, I think that it's accurate, isn't it?
I don't know off the top of my head. I actually I
not
don't know
brow
if we have
ridge. Orbital. What's the word I'm looking for? Orbital ridge, I guess.
I don't know if we have a Quetzalcoatlus skull. I think it's based on other Ajdarchids, which are the group
Okay.
it belongs to. Yeah, most of the skulls you see of Quetzalcoatlus
So is the
I think our reconstructions from fragmentary remains. Oh no, 4 partial skulls.
cool.
What do you know? Yeah,
One of
the
the
first
perks
bone
of,
found was a humerus.
bilateral.
You're just trying to make this funny on us, aren't you?
Wait, what? There were planes based on this thing's wings. Wait, what?
Sure.
Lovely.
Sorry. Going by. Yeah, it was discovered in the 70s. So, huh.
I'm just amazed the damn thing could fly because it's so top heavy.
It only weighed, I think, the estimate is about 500 pounds.
Oh, only. Okay.
I mean, how much
Huh.
does a giraffe weigh? Like,
Actually,
that's the
yeah, I
obvious
can kind
compare-
of see. It was used as the basis for tailless aircraft. I can kind of see it. That's pretty freaking cool.
I know the flying wing design was based on the old German flying wing design, the Golgotha Go 229, but I don't know if the Germans based it on the Dino. Although that wouldn't surprise me. The Germans were into some pretty weird shit back in the day.
Oh, a few things.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You guys do get distracted.
Yeah.
No. Don't know what you're
Oh,
talking
shush.
about.
It's
The giant Quetzalcoatlus or the smaller Rhamphorhynchus. But all those are pterosaurs. Okay. Well, so what was the gist of this Rhynchus? But all those are pterosaurs.
I'm not familiar with that name there, but that's pretty cool. Cryptodracone. Nice. For anyone not familiar with Latin, the hidden dragon. It's pretty neat.
Pterosaurs. Okay. Well, so what was the gist of this paper then alleging that there are feathers on pterosaurs?
Yes, okay. So some evolutionists they discovered that
Evolutionists.
these pterosaur fossils they had hair-like structures. They look like fibrous pieces of hair and things like that. They also noticed that these fibers look identical to what they see in dinosaur fossils.
Yep. So as you can see, they are branching filamentous structures. So basically the same as downy feathers.
You see, evolution is even from around the time of Charles Darwin. They already noticed that some of these flying reptiles had hair-like structures.
Speaking of Charles Knight, I think that's a night drawing.
What?
oh my goodness.
There we
Look,
go.
we
There's our
didn't know
point.
what pterosaurs were.
They were marsupials
It's
back
equally
then.
terrifying.
I guess.
Oh yeah, they thought they were marsupials.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that makes more
Yep.
sense now to why it looks like a rat.
It's like, what,
The
to be
freaking
fair,
Beetlejuice
like you
possum.
find this, what do you think it is?
Do you think?
Why?
Well, the ears are a nice touch, right? The
It makes it look friendly-ish.
looks like a
I-
possum when you accidentally stumble into the to throw your trash away and it's in the dumpster.
I don't think it looks too friendly to the thing it's going after.
I'm gonna
Yes.
have
A lot of
nightmares.
possums aren't exactly.
That one looks like a
friendly.
deer. It's like,
Nah, I think it just has a long neck.
And then the ones in
hair-like
the
structures
background
on their
look more
fossils.
pterosaur-like.
ones in the background look scarier.
They look more
No.
like pterosaurs than these two guys.
To be fair, I think they have their mouths closed.
Yeah.
But they have always dismissed that as just collagen fibers or things like that. But see, evolutionists believe that dinosaurs evolved into birds.
Yeah.
So most evolutionists believe that some dinosaurs were actually feathered, or rather, not really feathers like we know today, but what they call dino fuzz. It's just a fuzzy structure
Yeah.
which they believe is transitional to flying feathers.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I don't think that belief is required there because we have fossilized remains that actually have feathers on dinosaurs, so we don't have to believe it.
Yeah.
We can know it.
That bridge the entire gap. But
In fact,
and also, like, not
SFT
all
was kind
feathers-
enough to point out that we found, actual full-on feathers in some of the fossils too.
Wait, he admitted it in the book?
Mm-hmm. He said clearly, if you look at this fossilized feather and you compare it to a modern feather, we can see there's been no evolution in millions of years.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because it looks like a maple leaf,
But like the thing is, not all feathers are actually really multi-purpose. Like, not all feathers are flight feathers, and even there's variation in flight feathers. Like that. Who here has ever had a down stuffed pillow?
Like
Those feathers have a use,
down
but
I'm the only one who
not for
still has a
flight.
camera on. Yeah.
Fair.
Oh, sorry. I'll come back on camera with you, babe.
Yay!
Well, I don't know. I think Beamsy might be on camera. It's hard to tell.
Is that what Beamsy looks like?
Beamsy is a Quetzalcoatl.
I mean, it could be.
A Beamsy Aquaddle.
Yes. Images of Beamsy are rarer than Elvis sightings.
I guess he could be a Quati.
That idea has also been around. The idea that birds descended from a certain group of dinosaurs
Yes.
that was first introduced also around the time, shortly after Darwin wrote Origin of Species, I believe.
Actually, no. Darwin proposed it in Origin.
What?
And then I think it was 2 years later, just about on the day, Archaeopteryx was discovered. I think it was the London specimen was discovered. Just goddamn. Bravo.
An
Charlie.
amazing bridge.
Yes,
Well, the London specimen's pretty beat up.
I mean, that happens in England.
Wasn't the Berlin specimen the one that was found?
The London specimen was found first. So the one I have highlighted here is the London specimen. It doesn't have the head, and it's all kind of jumbled up, but it clearly has feathers.
I can see the Berlin.
Yep, the one people always think of is the Berlin specimen. That was found later. And actually, so when the London specimen was found, since it didn't have a head, leading anatomist at the time, Sir Richard Owen, and Charles Darwin had a little fight. Because Darwin said, "Oh, this is obviously a dinosaur. It will have a head of a dinosaur." And Owen said, "No, this is a bird. It is a weird bird. Go away with your evolution. It will have a beak."
Yeah.
And then
You
the head
can't-
was found, and
You
Owen
can't
was
study
wrong.
You can't study paleontology without running into Owen. Owen's trying to throw his roadblocks in the way, left and right, about evolution in general. I mean, you
He
can't
was a
deny
weird
his
creationist for sure.
you can't deny his contribution, right? Like he reconstructions of extinct creatures. He started that trend with the Moa.
Yeah,
So
but when he wasn't trying to be controversial, he was a very good anatomist.
mhm.
Funny
Especially
how
with
that
birds.
happens.
Yeah. And I think it is actually this fossil here of Archaeopteryx. When it was found, since it didn't have any feather impressions, they just labeled it as a species of dinosaur. It wasn't until decades later they realized, oh, no, this is Archaeopteryx.
Well,
This may be related, but also unrelated. There was a claim somewhere about why the neck on a lot of dinosaurs arc backward, in the fossils and stuff. Was that a flood argument, or was that something to do with them being birds versus actual dinosaurs?
The answer is yes.
Let me find a picture of the death pose if you want to explain it, Beamsy.
The death pose.
But the answer is yes, because it's been used as evidence for the flood, because they were branching back because they were drowned.
Yeah, they think they were gasping.
That
for
was
air.
that was the claim I was thinking of. Like if the head was backwards, that meant they drowned.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
Even
I think
though
that's what I was-
chickens today still do that, even if they get killed by a weasel, and definitely did not drown.
So the reality. Oh, actually, I think
We
this
know
is
weasels
here.
around here.
We
So
do.
the
Praise
reality
the weasel.
is, dinosaurs, or it might just be an archosaur thing. Anyway, they have a lot of ligaments holding their spine together, and since most dinosaurs had long tails and long necks, they had an extra lot of ligaments. And when they died, if they died on the surface, then those ligaments would dry out, and as they dry out, they contract, pulling the head and tail up. Now, that said, it can also happen if they die in water. Not because they drown, but because they're dead and the ligaments are still pulling, and now that it's underwater, it's easier for the body to move around.
Yeah.
So it dies and the head goes up. Like, here is Sinusoropteryx illustrating that.
What they get for having such darn long necks.
Is this how you want to go out, Doc?
I can think of a few better ways.
Yeah, he's not allowed.
Also, I'm not allowed.
No, you're not.
That's fair.
Hey, I've already organised how I'm going out. I'll be buried in one of those plant pods with a peach tree in it down at the capital of Australia. So that way, whenever someone walks past, they can eat my ass.
Nice.
I'm not surprised, but also that I'm not sure a fruit tree, but I do like that idea.
Why not a peach? It looks like an ass, so that way they can eat my ass.
Oh no, we got it. We're just ignoring it.
I don't
used to
know.
it.
I like pine trees. I might go for like a big pine.
Like a
Like
Brussels
one of
sprout?
those ones that can live for like 7,000 years.
So
Yeah,
then the
Brussels
squirrels
pine.
can munch your nuts.
Yes. I thought about doing a tree for a while. I was like, it'd be nice to be a tree. Apparently, a lot of people have had that thought. Orson Scott Card, the sequels to the Ender books, in book 3 and 4, they go to a planet where there's a virus called the Descalada, which sounds like a coffee, but what it actually does is it merges two species that aren't related together. So, like, there's
Ooh.
like a megafauna that's kind of like a stegosaurus, except it's a mammal, but it's got weird organs all down its belly. And when it walks over the wheat, that fertilizes the wheat, because the wheat and the megafauna are the same species. Well, there's a species of intelligent gremlin-looking critters, and when they die, they turn into trees. So they're sentient trees because they're the next stage of the gremlin-looking people.
They are the nut.
Yeah,
They're living nuts.
it's trippy as hell.
I guess mine is like really weird. I would like to be, and I know it's not something that can be guaranteed, but like I would like to be given the absolute best chance at having my body fossilized, like putting
Go
me in
ahead.
such a place or such a way
That's something I've
that I would
considered
have
too.
a very high chance
keep
of
your
being
stomach.
fossilized.
Just forget it thrown in Death Lake. You'll definitely fossilize.
Yeah, true. Bottom of a still lake.
You could be a ball.
Take a while though.
I would like to be
Bog.
completely decomposed and maybe put me in like a rainforest or something so that everything can
Yeah,
just
that'd
have
be
at
good.
me. And I just every
Also, if
bit
you-
of me will be gone except for maybe my teeth. But
Tell that to a guy who left a comment saying he said we can literally get accelerated fossilization in a lab within weeks. And I was like, dude, please link me that information because I think you're full of it.
Yeah, they are. You can petrify something.
You can be turned into a diamond.
And that's
Well,
what I was almost certain he was
Actually,
talking
yeah,
about.
that is something you could do.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you can be petrified, meaning like covered in stone, really easily. But that's not fossilization.
yeah.
If you actually go to that lake Natron, you're
Yep, Lake
100% guaranteed to be fossilized if you get thrown in there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Lake
Ken
so
Hovind
weird.
uses
you dried
petrification
to
as
death.
Ken Hovind in his CSE series tries to use petrified acorns as evidence, saying, "Oh yeah, you can get fossilized things in weeks or months instead of millions of years."
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
And I
he
was
has
just
to
like,
say
"But that's
that.
not the same thing, though."
Yeah, those particular ones, they start out as petrified, then they become mummified, and then they become perfect fossils because the petrification creates a perfect cast for them to actually be filled up with silicates.
Yep.
It's actually really cool.
Yeah. And you could also do it in the Dead Sea.
So many dead
Yes,
places.
5 years after.
What was that?
So many dead places.
Yeah. Or Great Salt Lake. That's getting saltier all the time.
I don't know if Great Salt Lake would work. There's a tremendous amount of bacteria in that thing.
True. I don't know. I don't know if they can digest bone.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, we could throw somebody in, for science.
Hey, there you go. Always add that for
The
science.
Charles
in
Darwin
there.
evolutionists proposed that
Okay.
dinosaurs evolved into birds.
Yeah. But it's
For-
become more popularized recently,
That's right.
some more modern day scientists. And of course, we now see this in sort of propaganda form all over the place in museums now.
Propaganda
yes,
form.
propaganda.
Oh boy.
Yes, because science is propaganda.
It's a conspiracy. Big lab
That
coat
word,
or
word's
something.
starting to lose its meaning. Propaganda. I hear it so wearily often. I'm just like, what does it even mean anymore?
Propaganda isn't
Things I
necessarily a
don't
good or a
like.
bad thing.
Exactly. Yes, Doc. I think it's mostly just like people hear things or read things they don't like. Oh, that's propaganda. Like
Because
no,
they
oh
don't
my
point it
goodness,
out when
no.
it's stuff they agree with.
Right.
Well,
Because in
it
the U.S.,
depends
we
on how
don't
honest
teach
they are.
propaganda classes anymore.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's a sign America has become a communist dictatorship.
Therefore, I blame public schools.
Can we also like comment on the phrase evolved into? Like we changed. Like no, it still is like monophily, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Never
Birds are
outgrow your
dinosaurs.
ancestry.
They're just fluffy now.
Now you can find museum signage saying that birds are in fact dinosaurs, like they should be reclassified as a group of dinosaurs. Or
They have been since at least
Ta-da.
the 70s.
Oh, wait, I have a ta-da. Ta-da!
Like Balker and Ostrom, they did that back in the 60s, man.
or the kids' toys even now depict dinosaurs with feathers or a furry like downy sort of covering on them.
Oh,
You may
I'm
be
so
surprised actually how
jealous.
much of our
It looked like a pretty, I'm going to guess Therizinosaur. It's pretty.
My dinos growing up didn't even have scales. They were just plastic shapes.
Or like elephant skin.
Yeah. And that one kind of looks like it's like half and half.
It's got some skin.
Yeah.
I guess they do cite the sores. That's something.
Pick dinosaurs with feathers or a furry, like downy sort of covering on them.
there's more
You
than
may be
lots.
surprised
Yep,
actually how
there's them,
much of our
Yep, saw the head.
own children have been influenced
I think I saw you laying in that
by
box back
this
there,
idea of
Doc.
feathered dinosaurs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Feathers or
Oh,
furry,
turned
like
out.
downy.
Oh, yep, right back there.
Yeah.
I actually got that figurine for my little sister for Christmas. She liked it. Got a little replica Deinonychus claw for her too.
Sort of covering on them. You may be surprised actually how much of our own children have been influenced by this idea of feathered dinosaurs.
Like Deinonychus is one example that in many museums
hey.
show that as a feathered dinosaur.
Yeah,
But every fossil specimen we have show that they do not have feathers.
yeah.
No, they just don't have feathers preserved because they didn't live in that environment.
I do enjoy the club moss chopping claw.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Mhm.
I know,
Like-
I'm getting a David Beamsy.
I'm scared. That I'm currently trying to figure out. Ooh, I'm gonna need that picture for later.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the website and I was like, oh, I'm not clicking that.
Oh, no, I'm scared. Yeah, I'm not clicking that. I'm not showing that on screen.
Oh, hey, they have furry toys.
Yeah, it's
Bad
like their
Beamsy.
entire thing.
Bad Beamsy.
Bad zombie man.
Okay, this time I'm getting
What the
bombed.
fuck is that? Is that a cloaca?
Oh my god.
Very likely, yes.
And here comes the
This is
tangent.
what they normally are.
I actually
All
have a
right,
friend.
everyone,
who-
time to
who
read
works
our
for them.
favorite Chuck Tingle titles.
No, please no, not that again. No.
Oh, dear.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway, yeah, we don't have direct evidence of feathers in Deinonychus. However, I believe Deinonychus mainly lived in a scrubland environment. Those aren't very conducive to preserving feathers most of the time. However, we do have bones from closely related species, like Velociraptor, that have quill knobs, for example, on their ulnae, which is where they would have flight feathers.
That's where I keep my
It's
quill
very
knobs.
likely Deinonychus did too. What was that?
Giggity.
Oh dear. Anyway. Oh yeah, I should probably share the right tab.
Details.
Not one yet with feathers, but as you say, there are a few dinosaur specimens that they do claim were feathered,
Yes,
and that
that's
the
right.
fossils show it.
So these dinosaurs, they have this fuzzy structure on some of the fossils. One of the main specimens that they would claim is this Sinoropteryx. How do you pronounce that?
Sinosauropteryx. Yeah,
Dinosaur.
that was the very first one that they claimed to have found feathers on this, sort of confirming their evolutionary theory, right, about the origin of birds.
First major non-avian dinosaur. Yes.
So what we see is this is actually a dinosaur. It's not a bird because if you look at
Yeah.
the lung, it has a reptilian lung. So we know it's a dinosaur.
Mhm.
But on the back,
Yeah, only the lungs, which I don't think are preserved. Okay.
We're gonna imagine up a lung, and then that lung happens to match the thing we want it to be, instead of the thing it probably is based on what we actually have.
We do know that they had 4-chambered hearts, though, right?
I don't know if we have. I
Or
don't
do
know
they
if
have
we.
Do they have 3.5-chamber hearts like a crocodile?
I don't think we have the heart. I'm looking at a diagram right now. And what we do have is we have skin, some collagen, feathery filaments, We have the eyes and the guts, and in one of them we have eggs. The rest is pretty indistinguishable in the chest cavity.
But feathers.
Butt feathers. Butt feathers.
All the feathers, including the butt
not right.
feathers. It
The cloacal
seems,
feathers.
according to the Googles, the birds or bird ancestors developed a four-chambered heart about 500 million years ago. That doesn't necessarily mean the dinosaurs did. just
Sorry,
the avian
500
line.
million years ago?
Yes. But
That
again,
seems a
that's
bit-
that's
Wait,
the
whoa,
Google.
whoa, whoa! 500
Well,
million years.
that's
what
Cambrian.
There
500
was.
million or 500,000?
Again, that's the Google. That the accuracy not guaranteed.
Yeah, that's
Read it-
not
read it.
right.
Read it again, will ya? Maybe I misheard you.
Birds and mammals independently evolved from a three-chambered heart to a four-chambered heart about 500 million years ago. This is an example of convergent evolution, which is when similar biological traits evolve independently.
Okay, so the diapsid synapsid split was when?
300 something? Earbud die?
Yep, it did.
Okay. Yeah, 300 something, I think. It would have been late Carboniferous? Or Carboniferous.
And I went digging. I found the fossil HONR 259C. It's a Dinocausauria, one of the dromaeosaurs, with feathers.
Yay!
Yep, Zhenwan
Next-
Long.
Not
Which,
that one.
this title, though,
I just shared that for the title. I was talking about the picture down below it. wasn't talking
I
about
know, but still, the title. The fluffy feathered poodle from
poodle
hell.
Oh
hell.
my gosh.
Anyway, yeah, Zhenwan Long. Beautiful flight feathers, tail feathers. I think it has a few leg feathers reserved. Gorgeous stuff.
Yeah, but if you look at the picture below that, that's the one I was talking about, which is the dromaeosaur.
Yes, it is.
Not that one.
Not this one?
No, the actual, just the picture.
Oh, the life reconstruction.
No,
Mhm.
if
No, because
the link below it.
It won't do both.
Oh,
at
yeah, he's talking
once.
about the other link. In the
Yes.
chat.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you sent a second link.
That one's HONR 259C. It hasn't got a name, but it's a dromaeosaur.
Oh,
Ooh.
I know that one. Also, just a quick second. Can someone
Dude,
talk
looks
really
like-
quick?
Sure.
I'm
I
not
can
Ben
move really quick, but it
Shapiro.
doesn't help really, really quick because otherwise no one can do me.
Okay,
Well, I'm
that
just
works.
I'm concerned about why
There we
this
go.
guy isn't in the
Okay.
death pose. It's
It looks like he got
disturbing.
crushed.
I don't recall how this one died, but I believe this is Sinornithosaurus.
All I could find was the HONR 259C. So that's about all the information I can get on what that one is.
I get fossil. Yep,
Yeah.
Sinornithosaurus.
Okay.
We have a few specimens.
They all
But
you can
appear
see
to die.
they're-
with the-
It's most definitely a dromaeosaur, and it's most definitely got feather impressions.
Yep.
It's most definitely adorable too.
Like death pose.
And the
Look how-
name means Chinese bird lizard.
I would have named this thing Kermit. It reminds me of Kermit. It can't just be me. Like the Kermit the Frog. Like when he runs. Come on now.
Nah.
Not sure.
Just a little lizard.
Oh, geez, look at that skull.
Aw.
And I don't think we currently
Evidence
think it was
for venom.
venomous, but I'm not sure.
Why does
I
that
don't
look like the
think-
dog thing from It?
Or what's that alien movie where like an alien takes over a bunch of dog bodies and like snarls?
Oh, that's the one I was talking about.
The-
Thing, not
The
It.
thing.
Oh, the thing.
The thing.
Okay.
Yeah. It is Pennywise, not.
The killer clown. Yeah.
Yeah. I know who.
I look at that and I just think straight away, how can they say that that is from a flood, considering what it's preserved in.
Yeah.
Oh, well, rapid burial. I'm not
All
joking.
From
Dinosaur, they
the
kind of have a fuzzy
from the
structure
Permian
that,
on.
Yeah.
that looks like
is
fur,
this?
actually.
And it's not a fraud either. I mean, they've found multiple specimens of this Sinosauropteryx, so there's no
Just a
question it
second.
does contain this pattern, these bristly fibers. But are those really feathers?
Yes, that's the question. So they claim that this fuzzy structure is actually on its way transitional to becoming a flight feather.
Yeah, it's certainly
Not flight feathers, just feathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The feathers are meant for
Are they afraid
flying.
of the term technofiber?
Pycnofibers, I mentioned this earlier, is starting to fall out of use, but
Okay.
just call them feathers. They are feathers. They're just not flight feathers.
Here's an interesting fact for you. None of the emu's relatives have ever flown.
Are they not descended from flyers?
No.
Are they related to elephant birds? I'm pretty sure.
Similar
they are.
line.
They're
Similar line.
paleonates, I believe.
Okay.
But
I'm
both the
curious how
rear
these guys reconcile that birds descend from lizard-hipped saurischians rather than ornithischians. Is that amuses me to no end that birds come from lizard-hipped dinosaurs rather than bird-hipped dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's convergently evolved, but so at least according to Wikipedia, Beamsy, the earliest paleonaves, so like ostriches, emus, and rheas, the oldest ones we have are flyers.
I know that the kiwi and the ostrich were, and the cassowaries, but the rhea, the elephant bird, and the emu, because of their claw, they think that they actually never flew.
I mean, there's been plenty of flying birds with claws on their wings.
Yeah.
The
The,
claw,
the
claw.
Tinamu still flies. It's just not very good at it.
I mean, what's the Chinese bird that has claws as a juvenile?
I know it begins with H, but off the top of my head, I can't remember.
Huatzins.
They're not from China, though, are they?
I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the babies have claws to help them climb.
Is that a
Cool.
was it a goshawk? Goshawk?
They're Huatzins. Oh,
Okay.
are they from the Amazon? I thought they were from China. Yeah, this is what their claws look like just before they're born.
I was just going to let you find out on your own.
Like, that's
Yeah.
oddly
Someday.
reminiscent of Dromaeosaurus.
Oh boy. Alrighty, folks. I gotta scoot. I gotta get up early for work. Now the experiment part. Everybody who's watching on my stream. When we run convergent simulcast streams through StreamYard, they tend to be controlled through the main broadcaster, which in this case is Doc Dino. I'm going to attempt to remotely end my stream. If it works, you'll be automatically sent to Doc's stream so you can continue watching. If it doesn't work, you'll still be here. So either way, you get to keep watching. But I want to try this for science, so we know if we can end connected streams separately.
Fair enough. And yeah, thanks for joining. You have a good sleep.
I'll see what I can do.
Beamsy. Not Beamsy, Ember. Ember's leaving, not Beamsy. Are you?
Yeah, you know. All right. Night, folks. I'll catch y'all again soon.
Yeah, I'm looking through neopathogens and neverates as well as yeah. I'm trying to find out where I read it before.
Names and paleonaves. Oh, and to answer something in chat, yes, the adults can fly, but the babies don't. They climb around with claws. and then they lose the claws as they grow up.
Oh, no more spiky baby.
That's Archeor. Oh. Yeah,
That's
pretty
something like a
neat,
like an
weird
egg
little
tube
bird.
snake.
Aren't you happy we don't lose our digits as we age?
Well, they don't lose
How
digits. They seem
odd would
to
that be?
just lose claws.
Well, so a claw is actually the end joint on your finger, though. So they're losing at least the tip of their digit, right? They absorb that back in.
Or I guess maybe it just shrinks. I don't know. But it's neat.
Emus keep theirs. It's tiny
Yeah,
and useless, but
emus
they
have a
keep
little
it.
claw.
Kiwis don't have anything anymore, not even any wings.
Kiwi's got a raw deal.
Kakapos are on the way to that too.
Yeah, but imagine
Kakapos
laying
are
an egg that
scary.
weighed like a third of your body weight.
Kakapos are like attacking sheep and stuff. It's crazy.
That's a rhea.
No, it's a kakapo. As a parrot?
No, a kakapo doesn't attack like that. It might attack a.
Oh, I'm thinking of Kia, not Rhea. Rheas are like little ostriches in South America. A Kia, maybe, is what I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. A Kia is the giant parrot. Yeah, okay.
Well, the kakapo is a giant parrot as well, and it really only attacks photographers.
But like lustfully attacks them, though.
Yes.
I said, F the paparazzi.
Well, have a look at that. Tommy
You're
Moore,
being
and
shagged by a rare parrot.
That is a big.
Yeah, they're chunky parrots.
That is a chunky ass parrot.
And if I recall, they're mostly ground dwelling and only
Mhm.
fly when they have to.
they can't fly.
They
Yeah, there
straight
was
up
something
can't
on.
fly?
They cannot fly.
Oh wow!
Not
There was
even
something on
like
Curiosity Stream about these
2 feet.
guys that I watched.
Huh.
They can kind of do like kind of like chickens do, where they can like jump from a higher place and not just like fall like a rock by like flapping their wings and stuff. But
They fall with
don't let
style.
them fly. Yeah, they're able to
Oh, well.
dampen their landing.
That's a probably should keep watching, or we might never finish this. Sadly,
Not
Might
as
not get to that
complex
second video
as
tonight.
like the flight feather that you find on a bird. Birds, of course, have a variety of different types of feathers, like the downy and so forth, that are not
Yes.
quite as complex. But the pennaceous feathers, the flight feathers, have they've got like the central shaft, 2 veins coming off either
Yes,
side,
that's right. Yes.
and those veins are made up of lots of branches,
Mhm.
and then they have sub branches, like coming off of the main branches are they're called barbs, are barbules.
Mhm.
And so that they like lock onto each other with little hooks and ridges and things like that. And so it's hard to explain that by a gradual evolutionary type of training.
No, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
In fact,
we've done it.
If I recall, you can turn off the branching with, again, a switch of a regulatory gene. So it appears to just be a mutation that causes them to branch more and more.
You said genetic switches, and that reminded me of the epigenetics I've been reading up on for my talk with Dr. Dan this weekend. Oh man,
Mm.
genetic switches are freaking mind blowing.
I believe it is just like 1 or 2 genes that have to have a mutation for there to be more and more complexity to feathers. It's essentially the same structure, just perpendicular to the previous one. And believe it or not, half a wing can still be a decent survival advantage.
Literally helping you fall, like we were just talking about the kakapos doing.
Yeah,
Right.
hoping you to fall or fancy display.
Falling with style.
Keeping
Or
that
like
nest
a
warm.
Covering a
wing-assisted
larger
incline
bird.
running is something proposed for a lot of dromaeosaurs. Like just flapping their wings to help them run up slopes.
I love the rifle bird that's up there.
Oh, the bird of paradise.
Yeah, the rifle bird, the one on the top left there.
Oh, yes. Look at me. I'm so fancy.
Yeah, male versus female. Birds of
Yeah,
paradise go all out.
yeah, that
Oh
one.
my gosh.
That one's
Yeah.
particularly the rifle bird, and if you ever heard its call, you'll understand why.
Oh dear. Oh, are those? Did they like blast their call in their prospective mate's face while doing a dance?
It literally sounds like a gunshot.
Lovely.
If it's not this bird, I know there is a bird of paradise that does that.
Yeah, that one's the rifle bird. When it does its call, it sounds like a gunshot. It snaps its wings up and makes a call, and it just sounds bang. And if you
Y'all
didn't-
ever seen a bellbird?
I have not.
Nope.
They're the loudest birds in the world.
if you
Oh,
need one
fun.
interesting,
Oh, I have seen. I've heard of them. And I see them.
They scream in their mate's ears until she falls off the branch, is knocked out by the sonic blast. That's how she gets that turns her on. They're like sadomasochists.
wish I could-
That's messed up.
I wish I could say I'm surprised, but birds are weird.
I am not going to say what I'm thinking. I am not. It's just maybe that's too far line.
Bad Beamsy.
Transition from a reptilian scale. They're radically different types of structures.
That's why, because the scale develops from a fold in the skin, while
Oh, jeez.
a feather is more like a follicle, it's like a hair, it grows
Yeah.
out from within the skin.
Right.
So it's really hard to explain how a scale can even evolve into a feather, or even
And
replace a
we've,
feather.
we
Maybe it didn't have scales to begin with.
Well, no, they would have had scales. They're reptiles, but
Hmm.
I don't.
Well, they could add osteoderms. Geckos don't have scales, really.
Well, that's like an
I'm scared.
intentional misunderstanding, right? Because feathers didn't come from scales; they come from hairs.
Mm,
I don't know. I actually don't know that far back.
the issue with it, they think that feathers and scales evolved along the same lines. But they think they're actually one and the same.
Yeah, because there's like, I mean, the difference between them is a point mutation, but like one didn't come from the other. Or at least that's my understanding.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was once thought that they evolved directly from scales, but currently they hypothesize that they evolved through the invagination of the epidermis around the base of the dermal papilla, followed by increasing complexity of form and function.
I think we have to take a shot every time somebody says imagination.
If only.
I've got 3 different kinds of Jameson, so
No fair.
I'm telling you, the Jameson orange, yeah, give that a try. It's smooth, it's delicious.
Huh.
Yeah, it looks like that they
So-
evolved along the same lines together, but one didn't come from the other.
Yeah, Encyclopedia
yeah.
Britannica. So they're essentially a specialized fold of skin, I guess. Like just extremely keratinized. I have to admit, I don't know about this, but I do know that once you have feathers, it's easy for stuff in the skin to evolve.
Yeah, most of what I know of it, I got from a Professor Dave video. It was like he didn't like cover it in depth. He just kind of mentioned it in passing.
I don't know. But whatever the origin point, it appears to be basal to Archosauria. Which
Mhm.
Kind of interesting.
It is a possibility that one evolved from the other, or they both evolved at the same time, because we will never 100% know.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that was one of the points where I was confused on it, and in my video with Aaron, he corrected me on it where I asked if feathers and scales were basically the same thing. He said, well, no, feathers came from more of a hair-like structure, and scales, while on the same evolutionary line, are different.
So they're almost like, I guess, convergently evolved to like mammalian hairs?
Or it's quite possible that their basal form then split into two ways. One went scales, one went feathers.
Yeah, because that was the point I was making before, where the difference between the scales and the feathers is a point mutate, like a single point mutation, where they like diverge from each other.
And I know, find a good picture of a bird foot. I know that the scales on bird feet, they were feathers. And the scales on bird feet are secondarily scales. Like they were feathers that evolved into scales. And we can switch that off to give them feathery feet.
Yeah, like there was a specific kind of guinea fowl or a chicken that was mentioned where you can have the exact same birds, but one of them will have feathered legs, the other one will have scaled legs, and it's because of an artificial selection thing that we can do where we can breed them a certain way, and some of them have the feathers where the scales would be, and the other ones have the scales.
Mm-hmm. Which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Neat.
We've done a whole nother video on the alleged feather dinosaurs.
Yes,
It's not that we're even in principle against that idea, because the Bible never says that there weren't any feathered dinosaurs.
Yes.
But we'd like to see the evidence before we're going to believe that. And of
That's
course,
right.
the popularity of that idea depends on evolutionary assumptions. So in general, we're quite skeptical of those claims, at least you and I are. But people can consult that video if they want to see more. But let's just talk a bit about this one.
Yeah, having watched that video, it is a confusing mess. Like they jump from topic to topic at complete and utter random, completely randomly.
So improv.
Were these the guys who were like, hey, creationists, we've been corrected on this thing so many times, let's stop saying it?
Yes, and then they go ahead and debate if dinosaurs had feathers.
So that makes total sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and left-handed Jedi, they would disagree with you because they support the Leviathan and Behemoth being dinosaur interpretation.
And dragons, too.
Yes, they do. They're better than some other creationist organizations, but they're still a young Earth creationist organization.
Unfortunately.
Specimen Sinosauropteryx and the claims about its body covering, because that relates to this question of pterosaurs.
Yes, that's right.
Why aren't they feathers then? What are some of the problems with this identifying its dino fuzz as feathers?
What's interesting is that the researchers who first proposed this say it looks like
Oh yeah, also MA and Christian apologetics down here.
I was going to mention that earlier.
Wow.
I doubt that's a real degree from an accredited university.
I mean, it sounds more
probably is,
like
but it's not accredited.
avoid me at all costs.
Yeah.
It's like I have a master's level education from the Bible college that I went to in pastoral theology and Christian apologetics, but like I wouldn't claim it as a degree.
No. To me, it's just a big red flag.
Yeah.
It's a siren. Stay away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Doc, remind me. I've got to send you a copy of my paper because it finally got accepted for publication.
Oh, awesome, man. That's great.
Nice.
It only took 18 months.
Hey, Beamsy, don't forget. That's the dad joke in me coming
okay.
A furry structure that which they call proto feathers or first feather or evolving to become feathers. But what's interesting is that they also say in the same paper that they have not actually looked at it under the microscope.
So
We have a lot.
Don't you love when they make claims like we have no idea, and it's like
Yeah.
sitting over here, we're like, yeah,
Yes,
we
we do.
do.
We have lots of wonderful microscopes, and they just get better and better, and they're awesome.
Like, heck, it's not even an idea anymore. It's like you can see it with your own 2 eyeballs.
Yeah, it's routinely done now when we have preserved skin.
It's just like the thing with the dinosaur soft tissue. They act like, oh, this is the end all be all. No, now we're just studying it. We find it all over the place now, and it's great. So
I can't find the. I'm not sure where the exact paper is, but yeah, we looked at them under electron microscopes, which is about as small as you can get normally. And yeah, we can see melanosomes. Like, we know the colors. We can see the structure of the feathers.
Here's my
Only back in
layman
2010, this was done for Sinosauropteryx.
What is a melanosome?
Which is still
It is a cell organelle that produces melanin pigment.
Oh, okay, yep. That makes sense. Okay.
It's why we know that one of the dinosaurs they've dug out was red.
Yes, including Sinosauropteryx.
pigmentation.
Let me see if I can find a picture of Sinosauropteryx melanosomes. Because there are two main types of melanosomes in vertebrates, as far as I'm aware. You have more rod-shaped ones and more circular ones. If I recall correctly, which I could be wrong, the rod-shaped ones produce brown pigments, and the circle ones produce red pigments. And the feathers for Sinosauropteryx have the circles, so they would have been red.
So this is a condition called erytheism or erytherism, where it's kind of like albinism or melanism. More like melanism, right? Because melanism can be advantageous. Albinism is rarely advantageous, but seeing organisms like this, you can learn a lot about their what sort of environments they thrived in based on the color of and the pigmentations that were prominent in the population.
Now that said, there are other ways to produce colors. Notably, there are structural colors. Like, you know how ravens and crows kind of have an iridescent sheen to their feathers? That's structural. It's just how the feathers are formed. They have that kind of rainbowy texture or rainbowy color.
Blue is always structural.
Blue is?
There's no blue pigment in nature.
Okay.
It's always structural.
And then the other one is carotenoids, which are, I believe, mostly derived from foods. And those can be a lot of different colors, like flamingos. They're pink because they eat pink shrimp.
And the one I was talking about was the Bortella, one of the ankylosaurs.
Borealopelta.
Yeah, that's him.
The one I love showing off.
Yeah, he's red.
Yep. A nice ruddy red.
Spiky
Pretty boy.
I should clarify there.
I
just fact checked myself, and there is like a small percentage of animals that have true blue pigment, but most of it is structural.
It's incredibly rare. It's probably the rarest natural pigment out there.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, I think more research was done on this, and they figured out that the spikes and horns would have gotten darker towards the tips. They have more eumelanin than pheomelanin.
Oh, that'd be so pretty.
Yeah.
And the thing is so well preserved. They've been studying the internal organs on the damn thing.
Yep.
Yes.
Internal organs, its last meal. It's such a beautiful. I can't gush
So-
about it enough. It's beautiful.
So, has anyone actually made a life-size replica of it yet with the colors and everything? Because they should do that. That would be
I don't
awesome.
know if
seems
there's
like-
been a life size.
It seems like a logical thing to do, though, considering how complete it is.
Well, yeah, that
It
know
wasn't.
there's
It was only about
figurines.
half of it.
I mean, the thing to keep in mind is it is a big animal.
okay.
If
If
you
they
scroll
can
down
hang
a
a
little bit more,
Spinosaurus from the
Okay,
ceiling,
okay, that's fair.
yeah, if you scroll down a little bit, it actually gives you a good indication of the size of it because there's a person standing next to it in an artist's rendition.
where is it?
About 2 or 3
Oh,
pictures down from where
Right,
you
sorry,
are.
I just realized I was in a different tab.
Left, not
Um,
right. There you go. Right
Yeah,
there.
here.
Oh, yeah. No, they could do that. They could easily do that.
And it is Borealopelta Mark Michelli, named for the guy who spent years preparing it. Mark Mitchell, he spent years cleaning this thing, and he did a fabulous job.
I think they've got from before the hind hips and forwards, and the only thing they're missing is the tail and the back.
Yep. But that's pretty easily filled in. This group of dinosaurs, they all have very similar tails.
Yeah, the
So, what do we know about its temperament, though?
Can't really say, sadly.
Looks like,
But this is
looks
probably
like,
like possibly the most accurate reconstruction I've seen, because they get the dark tips on the scoots.
well,
Pretty.
I'm trying to figure out how we put a saddle on it.
I'm
Oh, I'd
going,
find a
I'm going
way.
with Spike from Land Before Time. That's he looks like he has that kind of temperament.
You think so? Yeah, big hungry guy.
I
Yeah.
mean the spikes flatten out just over the hips, so you could probably do there.
You want to
Well,
ride
that
over the
depends
hips?
on how the
Yeah,
it
over the
walks.
hips.
Look, you
You
just
could
need to
put
get in touch
a-
with the devs for the video game Arc and have them put it in the game, and then like. you
Oh,
can
I'm
find out how
sure
to put
there's a mod for it.
saddle on it.
Yeah.
I'm
So, yeah, that-
sure.
that's the latest.
I wonder if a
artist rendition
howdah
of it.
would be better. It's too small for a howdah, though. Really.
Yeah, but
So-
Oh,
saddle.
yep, there we go.
There you go.
Is that a large carcharodontosaur? Sorry, I'm
Now you
I'm
can
good.
You could saddle or put a howdah on a carcharodontosaur.
Wait a second.
Well,
Is he like drinking from the water where the blood of his kin is flowing toward him?
I think it's walking past, but
Just casually strolling.
it's more the coloration that was the important part rather than what's happening in the
yeah,
background.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious what these are, because this was late mid Cretaceous.
Not important. Spiky baby, important.
Okay, she wants to see the spiky baby.
Yes.
Oh,
Because what I'm wondering is how tall or big, however you want to phrase it, the spikes are in the mid-range area and along the sides, because they look longer on the sides, like versus the top.
like where your legs would hang
I
over
think
if you
a few
rode it.
centimeters. A couple inches.
Because depending on how it moves, you could put enough layers or create a cushion before you actually put the saddle material on, like the part you would be sitting on. To one,
What-
protect them. Two, also not tear through the saddle and shred yourself.
What if you put the saddle on the behind the back, behind the hips, and then you put your reins on either one of the horns on either side,
It-
kind of like a sled dog?
You maybe, but there's also the part of can it handle that much weight in that spot? And are you going to be able to sit comfortably without making a whole seat behind you, which
Well, so you
adds
think
more
that-
weight?
You think over the front shoulders would be a better over the
Well,
shoulders instead of the
More,
hips?
more in the middle. I wouldn't do right over its
Even
back legs
distribution of
because
weight,
that's not comfortable for them.
Yeah, put 'em
It's more
directly
comfortable
in
than the
the hip
front,
joint.
but
Yeah.
yeah. Like if it wiggles around, you're gonna fall off and hit their tail. Ah, earbud.
Like
Sorry.
how we're just like chilling here trying to figure out the logistics
there
of
we
a
go.
saddle on this guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
that's kind of what we
he's
do.
adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And if
no.
nothing else, they probably only do cargo. I mean, we don't know how fast it would be, do we? Possibly?
Not very fast.
No, probably
Well,
not very
yeah,
fast.
actually,
Little legs.
I think there was a study done on Ankylosaurus a few years ago. Apparently, they could get faster than you'd expect.
Talking.
Well, I mean, you think of like a rhinoceros or a hippo. They are deceptively fast how they come at you.
Yeah.
But this guy was found in the water too. Floating bloat was the. Yeah, I always think of a hippo when I think of that, so that's why I always compare this particular individual to a hippo in my brain.
And Google is saying 6 to 10 miles an hour, but I know there was a study done recently.
So this would be more like an oxen than a horse. Then
Yeah.
you have
Well, I
a
would be thinking of it as for speed, but more of, travel, like long.
like a caravan.
Yeah.
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 There's probably better dinosaurs in this time period though that we could saddle up besides something with spikes all over its back.
Yeah.
But I like the spiky baby.
The good thing about it is it could defend you though if you're running into trouble. But I know he's so cute, and you could have like the little squirrel dinosaur around or monkey dinosaur around your shoulders. In your little caravan. Now I'm Dinotopia in my brain.
I do want a murder of crows eventually. I want crows.
How about a murder of microraptors?
Why don't you
Both,
just
obviously.
don't you
Obviously
just-
both.
start putting corn outside your window and the crows will
Well,
come?
I have neighbors down below, so
Mhm.
I don't really want them reporting me. So
Yeah.
ideally, it would be when we have a house or something like that, or yard, because I don't want to get in trouble like that. Otherwise, I would have started that a lot sooner. But
Well, I have three families of magpies, as well as a whole bunch of kookaburras that come around. They'll be here in 2 hours, actually.
Do you make deals with them for food, like have them bring you stuff?
No. Well, the magpies have brought me stuff, but they get me into trouble.
Oh no! There's
I mean,
a
you
story
didn't
there.
steal it.
No, some of the bikinis of the girls that live around here that have shiny things on them, so they've been bringing me bikini tops.
Oh dear.
Uh,
At least I don't have that problem. We will not be near a beach.
So a few scientists later, they did a few experiments. They looked at that under the microscope, and they begin to see that it's
Wait, he just said they didn't.
The heck?
Yeah, I guess it was like 10
But
minutes
it
ago,
suits
but he
his
just said
narrative now.
we didn't look under the microscope.
Yeah.
evolving to become feathers. But what's interesting is that they also say in the same paper that they have not actually looked at it under the microscope. So a few scientists later, they did a few experiments. They looked at that under the microscope, and they
Oh, nice
begin to
contradiction
see
there,
that
bud.
it's actually identical to skin collagen. So what they
And what's
did is,
collagen?
No, they did not.
Nope.
Uh-uh.
We just went over that.
Yeah.
It was melanin.
Yep, melanin and structure. Collagen does not have either of those, really.
Nope.
Now, to be fair,
Collagen doesn't.
Alan Fiducia in
contribute
the
to
late
pigmentation.
90s hypothesized that it was surrounded in collagen fibers based on blurry photographs he'd seen in the late 90s.
Emphasis on blurry.
Uh-huh. Subsequent studies have confirmed under the microscope that no, these are feathers. Now that said, Fiducia is kind of a sore loser and continues
bit of a
to rail
Fiducia
against
bag.
it. Well, he's an ornithologist, and for some reason he seems to hate the idea that birds and dinosaurs are related.
Is he
He's
the
like a
founder of
ladybug.
Brand?
What was that?
Is he the founder of Brand?
I don't know what that is.
Alan Fiducia?
Birds are not dinosaurs.
He might have been.
I think he is involved in that. Actually, that sounds right.
Yeah. He's in like the 1% of paleontologists, less than that, I think, who don't think birds are dinosaurs. Just for everyone confused, it is the overwhelming consensus of the field that birds are dinosaurs. And if I recall, Fiducia accepts that birds are archosaurs. He just thinks they have a separate ancestry than dinosaurs.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't Fiducia's position that dromaeosaurs are also not dinosaurs?
I'm not sure if it's him or someone else who says anything with feathers is a bird.
Well, considering Fiducia has Riddle of the Feathered Dragons as one of his books. And
Yeah,
yes,
I-
Alan Fiducia is the founder of Band.
Oh.
I would love to know what he thinks of you, Tyrannus.
So that's an adorable floof bug. Sorry.
Yeah, it's the adorable 30-foot long
Omni-Man
floof
next to it.
tyrant.
It's the
I bet
Foofy
it
Tyrant.
smelled really bad, but it's cute.
It undoubtedly a
Ooh,
tyrannosauroid.
tiger stripes. I love that. Oh my god.
Well, that's actually kind of neat.
There's
Yeah,
another one
I-
down below. Is that a you try it's down there too? Oh my gosh. Oh my
Ooh.
gosh, that's so good.
Oh, that is. I have
Look
never
at its tail.
I've never heard of this before, but I love this.
Oh my god, the tail.
Did you see the floofy tail on that one right? The one with the tiger?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
This one down here. Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
Where
that
it's
one.
pulled around.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
This
Oh.
is a trend in paleo art I have never heard before.
Well, they
Yeah.
used to do an Nanosaurus as a polar bear all the time. They don't do that so much anymore, but I always liked that.
No, Nanooksaurus is still usually shown as feathered.
But they've changed the colors. They'll generally put it as gray now instead of the polar bear colors like they used to.
It depends on the artist.
Yeah.
Because like the feathers on Nanooksaurus are an inference. So we don't know what colors it would have had. No, the polar bear is still common.
Yeah. It's my favorite.
It is really, really cute.
If you look at the link I put in, it goes through how he's a founding member of Band and some of the stupid stuff he said.
Lovely.
Oh no. I see Tetsu. Oh dear. Yep, Darren Naish. He got Darren Naish mad. That's not good.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Alan Fiducia did.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It-
Has that been recent?
Oh, it's cute.
I think
It's
it was-
2017.
Yeah, but
Hey,
also just look, Bree, look at this.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
It's
That-
like
The
that-
first
that's
image in
spider.
the article is the textbook I'm going through.
That's like a cross between a quail or a peasant and dinos, and I love it.
Yeah, this picture.
Yeah. That's the textbook. I have the ebook version of it.
Okay.
So
But yeah, Darren Naish, from all accounts, is a very nice guy. But if you start talking shit in science, he is ruthless.
I thought you would enjoy that article when I saw it. Just going,
I'll go through it later. I know he's gonna tear him a new one.
In the nicest way possible.
Yeah. For those unfamiliar with Darren Naish, which is probably most people, I think he was the main scientific advisor for Prehistoric Planet seasons 1 and 2.
And I put the link in the chat for everyone.
and he's
Yeah.
a freaking amazing cryptozoologist.
I'm not surprised he dipped his toes there.
Yeah, he's got several books on cryptozoology. Like it's mostly it's debunking, but yeah.
But yeah, you can thank him for most of the portrayals in that series being so up to date. And it's funny. Most of the errors, at least that I know of, in that series are just because they became outdated because new research came out while it was in production or while it was airing. So it is possibly the most up to date. I think it is the most up to date dinosaur documentary you can find. And I like that. I like that we're mostly back into dino documentaries being really up to date and informative.
And we're only on season 2.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is they're always going to be at least 5 years out of date.
I think Prehistoric Planet's more 3 or 4, but yeah, the field evolves. But they do their best. They did their best.
Ballpark wise, it's best to say that if a documentary has just been released, it's 5 to 10 years out of date already.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
but,
it's not their fault.
On the other side, though, that's a good thing. Like, it's good that we are learning more.
Yeah, I just also want to emphasize that it's also not their fault. It's
yeah. Yeah, they can't see the future, and actually, it's also like pretty common policy among paleontologists to not, or at least try not to discuss unpublished work until it is out and peer reviewed and published. Because peer review in paleontology in particular can catch a lot of things, and has in the past. Case in point, Fiducia's papers on this are very, very not accepted.
Gee, I wonder why.
Oh, dear.
Call it just a protein structure. So
it's used in
just
your skin and your
the
bones,
skin,
right?
yeah.
So to help structure those things. Okay.
So they believe it's just the skin as it's partially decayed, so it begin to form this fuzzy structure.
Yeah.
They did a few experiments. So first of all, they look at fossils of marine reptiles.
So I know the study he's about to quote. No, first he is continuing to quote Fiducia. Fiducia compared the structures on Sinosauropteryx to marks on an ichthyosaur specimen. A later study found that most of the collagen fibers were just marks in the stone made during fossil preparation.
Oh my god.
They weren't even collagen. They weren't anything. Now, that said, there were some collagen fibers found with that specimen. And they look nothing like the Sinosauropteryx feathers.
Of course.
Freaking Fiducia.
Marine reptiles don't fly. And they begin to see the same structures on these fossils.
Yeah.
Then they took carcasses of sharks and dolphins. So they buried that under the ground for 1 year. And then they dig it up and they look at how it decays. And when they look at those fossils, you see the exact same structure.
Yeah.
And
you
they
can
begin
compare photos of the two and see
Yes,
that,
that's right.
the sort of patterns that you see there, branching patterns where it might be a bundle of fiber.
Yep, most of those are just grooves left behind by fossil preparation.
Yeah, those don't look like fibers. That looks like scratching.
Yeah, that's because it is.
I don't even do this stuff, and that doesn't look convincing to be feathers. I do sewing, for Christ's sake.
Oh, and also just a hypothetical too. You know, there is something that there are several things that swim that have fibers on their skin. I guess you could say.
Penguins?
Yeah, we have penguins and seals and whales.
Mhm.
Like it's not uncommon for aquatic animals to have feathery or furry coatings.
The
Like some armored catfish, even like their skin has like these. It's almost like tiny little barbules that come off of it that feel like really small, stiff hairs.
yeah, the mammal with the most fur is a sea mammal. It's the sea otter. Yeah.
Huh. Like by absolute count or density?
I think by both.
Huh. Interesting. I mean, I guess it would probably have to be done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, just realized the question.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool facts about sea otters, a lot of disturbing facts about sea otters too. But there may not be.
I stick to the cute YouTube videos. I know, but they are freaking adorable. Call it cognitive dissonance. I will embrace that.
Fibers that separates and things like that. The same sort of structures in both.
They are identical.
Cases. Yeah.
And of course, collagen fibers can take on many forms, and they actually show side by side that, hey, these are the same structures.
Yeah.
So what?
Oh, hey, yeah. Dapper's invagination. Yeah, dermal denticles and like sharks. They would be on the same scale, but they're there.
What we see in these dinosaur fossils are not they're not feathers. They are just decayed skin.
Yeah, because certainly things like ichthyosaurs, those marine reptiles,
yes,
sharks, dolphins, these are not covered in feathers,
and they don't.
And yet we're finding the same sorts of structures. And I think it's also interesting the fact that in Sinosauropteryx, that those fibers run down its spine. It's
yes,
along its back and onto its tail, and then also the underside of the tail. And if you look at modern creatures like certain iguanas and other lizards, the basilisk in particular, it's got this crest that runs along its back. It's made up of skin. It's got nothing to do with feathers, right?
Yes, that's right.
But it's like this thin layer of skin.
It's very distinct skin, though. It's not
it's not normal.
The impressions are densest along the edges of the body. They continue all over the specimen, though. And also, just to address this point, on the same scale, Dapper's invagination, yeah, that previous image was in picometers. I think that would, or was it? It was either picometers or millimeters. That would cover. Let me see. It was here. That would cover the. That would cover dermal denticles for sharks. But yeah, no, no, no.
So are these guys like saying on surface level it looks like this, so it must be this?
Yes, that is exactly what they're saying.
See, they keep going back and forth. They're flip-flopping so much on this, looking at things under a microscope, not looking at it under a microscope. Like they want to look at it under a microscope whenever it suits them, but most of the time it's just like, well, on the surface level it looks like this, so it has to be this.
Yeah, gonna be honest with you, this whole channel, all they do is flip-flop like that on everything I've watched of their content.
You've just heard before.
Would anyone believe them?
You heard him before. They haven't looked under the microscope. But they have looked
So
under
then
the
they went and
microscope.
looked under the microscope.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is maddening.
I see why you ask for alcohol in this.
Yeah. I almost
This is
bought beer
painful.
tonight, but then it started to snow, and I
This
didn't
is
want to
big-
go outside.
This is painful.
Hops.
Wait, hey, I actually found a brand of beer that I don't hate. I actually kind of like it, which is I never like beer, so it was really surprising.
So
Yeah,
yes,
I've tried
no,
like
it's not
40
surprising you like
versions of
weak
they all
American
taste
beer.
the same.
Not sure
I
how weak it
can't,
was, but
I
it was
can't
fine.
take hops. It's just bleh.
Yeah, it was Blue Moon beer.
You know what? That's
Oh,
Belgian.
yeah, trust me, they know what
Oh,
it
it's
is.
Belgian.
Yep.
Oh, so not
I have a
American.
friend who is
It's
very into Blue
pure
Moon,
Texas.
and he suggested that I try it, and I did, and I mean, to me, it just straight up tastes like hops again. But yeah, he's like, yeah, it's Belgian, and I was like, oh,
Apparently, it's 5% alcohol by volume. That's more than most beers.
Yeah.
I think most beers are 2 to 3%.
When I could drink, I
but
just
most
used to
of them are
drink mead.
4.5.
Mead. Never tried mead. Mead sounds great, though.
Honey mead.
Well,
So you can
real mead
basically
is,
make mead
is
at
from
home.
honey.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to try it.
Good
I just
stuff.
never have.
And I think it's actually like you can legally make it at home. Too.
Yeah,
It's not
because
like
it's
one of
not
those things where
spirit.
you have to. Yeah.
Oh, noted. Hey, honey, you want to start a brewery?
If
I
you
can't
want
drink.
to,
Why would I do that?
Fair.
if you want to actually have something for someone who can't drink very well, hotcha.
No, I can't
She,
drink. Period.
She can't have alcohol.
Like I can't even have half a shot and like a hot cocoa. I couldn't finish it.
That's why I'm suggesting hotcha. There is no alcohol in it.
Hey.
Yeah, she
But I don't want the taste. I want the effect.
wants to get
That's the
drunk, but she
problem.
can't have any alcohol.
Yeah, they.
Is it an allergy thing, or is it like a?
No, I'm
tolerance?
on medicine, and unfortunately, I
Oh.
can't really like go off of it, and it doesn't agree with it.
Yeah, necessary meds.
On top of the
that
fact that I'm a
interact badly.
lightweight. Yeah.
Same reason
I'm
I
an
can't
extreme
drink.
lightweight.
Yeah.
You know,
I
it's,
drink
it's funny.
coffee.
Like
Instead.
I didn't drink for the longest time because of my faith, but since I've been out of that, like for about 3 years now, I've been casually drinking, mostly on the weekends. And I gotta say, most of the horror stories and stuff I've heard about drinking were I tend to believe now that it was just highly irresponsible people with no self-control.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually is.
'Cause I don't
I-
drink to get drunk. I drink for, like the happy euphoric buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think I'm gonna start getting more of that beer because that's what it gave me. Like at the pace I usually drink, it didn't get me drunk, but I was at a happy buzz. It was nice.
Yeah, I miss
If you're
that.
interested, I'll send you a recipe for hotcha. It ends up like ginger beer, but it's a honey mead wine.
Ooh.
Mm.
And
It's a
non-alcoholic,
tradition.
or is it alcoholic?
It has to be boiled, so that gets rid of the alcohol.
Yeah, well, alcohol cooks out.
We could try that. Yeah, sure. That sounds nice.
Yeah, it's a Japanese
Love
mead
that.
wine.
That's why the
I was
name
gonna say it
sounds
sounded
like
Japanese.
All right. Well, at any rate,
And that seems most likely to be what's the case in Sinosauropteryx as well. It's exactly where you find that pattern is along its spine.
With this creature, they actually found scales on the body. And
Mhm.
normally, where you have scales, you do not have feathers growing in
Yeah.
the same place. And you mentioned
that
This
that
coming
is
from the guy who just
patently
said that-
untrue.
Didn't he say that scales and feathers were the same thing, basically? That he said they evolved.
No,
from
they were
scales?
saying that feathers couldn't evolve from scales.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I think Sinosauropteryx had scales on its feet. That's pretty
Rare
common.
moment of
And Google
continuity.
says some on its tail,
Hmm.
which
Like the underside, maybe?
maybe. But also, like in dinosaurs, it's really common for feathers to pop up between scales. Let me see if Wikipedia has a section on integument.
If only they had a segment on integrity that you could send to these people.
Never.
Send him my conversation with Eric from Skeptics and Scoundrels that we did on intellectual honesty and integrity and in your scientific pursuits.
I mean, like, my biggest thing personally is just be willing to admit you're wrong and learn from your mistakes.
Yep.
Yes.
Like, if people make a mistake and it's an honest mistake and they admit it, most of the time I'll forgive them for it.
And the third thing that you
Unless
need to
something
remember
really
is,
egregious.
and the third thing to try and remember is to attempt to leave your prejudice at the door.
See, the way I
Attempt.
put it earlier with some of my friends was seek to be incorrect. Because if you're looking
Try to
for
prove
where you are
yourself wrong, maybe?
incorrect, yeah, if you look for where you are incorrect, then you're going to find the answers. You're like, I know I'm wrong about this. Let me find where I'm wrong about this. And you're getting, and that's going to like innately go against your confirmation bias.
Mhm.
I like being wrong about things. It means I'm learning something I don't know.
Exactly.
It's why I ask the question why so often.
That's why I called myself Tell Me More, because I want to know.
Oh, so what do you want to know?
Well,
Okay,
I
Beamsy,
feel
let's keep it
really
appropriate for the channel. Come on.
You're no fun.
I feel really pretentious when I say everything, but like I want to know a little bit about everything, you know?
Well, careful. Doc's already got the horny bat ready for me, so I better be careful.
Honey, could you draw art of me smacking Beamsy with a horny bat?
We've already got
It
that
could be a
clip that you
simple
can put
doodle.
up.
I'm gonna.
I don't know
bounce
how
out
to
the
do your
side.
arms. Honey, I can do animals, but dinosaurs are new territory for me.
Sorry.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
bounce
maybe-
out, but
maybe-
Sorry, I heard you, Bree. Have a good
Yeah.
night.
you too.
See ya.
Night.
Bye.
See ya.
Bzz.
Or you were saying?
I don't know. Maybe I could just draw you like holding we'll do it Wile E. Coyote style. You're holding a rope and there's just this giant anvil above Beamsy.
Just this bonk.
And just it's this bunk.
Yeah, maybe.
That I could do
Or just make it a boulder.
something.
Or a rock hammer.
I think that would be much more suiting for the two of us.
Anyway.
Mentioned the basilisk, which is interesting because we actually have a basilisk experiment. Dr. Alan Fiducia and Tear Guy.
Oh look!
Merry Christmas.
So like,
He looks
there's
like a
another scientist
Fidouche.
who did all these experiments where they bury the sharks and the dolphins. So they also look at some of these decaying specimens of basilisks and things like that. And in one case, they saw the exact same structure,
Yeah.
but this so-called fuzzy structures was under the scales. So this is just skin collagen that's decaying over there.
Yeah. And some of these.
Okay. I don't believe you. Source.
And why are they showing Indonesian dragon lizards? They're not. They're completely
they're-
different.
They're trying to say that the stuff on Sinosauropteryx is just decayed crests, like you would see on a basilisk lizard.
Because it looks so alike.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like you might be right on the surface, like it could be right, but once we actually look under the microscope, we can easily tell, no, that's not the case.
I mean, or hell, you can just look at a good quality photo. Like, Sinosauropteryx is so well preserved. Like, you really, it is just a case of just look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't normally advocate for that, but if you just look at it,
It's fluffy.
it is visibly fluffy.
The fluff. It makes me think of a red panda.
Yeah, it has the same coloration as a red panda. It is adorable.
Yeah, how could you not think that that would be fur or feathers?
It's where my mind first goes. I would try to prove myself wrong, but it's where my mind goes.
But that's
How
why
can
you
you not?
investigate.
Well, that's easy. You just be a creationist.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I
Easy
am glad
crap.
I got over that when I was 10-ish.
Yeah, same.
The funny thing is, I'm probably the only one here that you could classify as a creationist, but I'm not that stupid.
You don't count. You are religious. You are not a creationist. You don't throw away the science.
Yeah, I think to be a creationist, you like. I don't know.
Like, I
You
feel
have
you have to have your
deny some
faith
kind of
as,
science.
or I feel you have to have your faith be the determining factor in whether or not you believe something.
Yeah,
Plus
where your
arrogance
faith
and
matters
idiocy.
more than evidence, and I think that that's just extraordinarily dishonest. And if there were a god, then it would frown upon that
Mm-hmm.
kind of dishonesty.
Yeah, I mean that's something I've tried to reach out to creationists with. Just don't you think that God would want you to look at the world around you and try to understand his creation? Like, why go buy one book from one part of the world when you can just look at the world? And even if you want to examine it as a figment of his godly power, it's probably like there's more out there.
What is Beamsy doing?
Anime.
Lindsay, what are you doing? Why are there anime girls?
Why do I see Hatsune Miku?
Oh,
It's in the Discord doc if you want to show her.
oh no, it's a video.
You slander Hatsune Miku.
No, it's actually more to do with something else, but yeah.
She is not a waifu. She is not.
These scientists that
can
you
only
mentioned
dream.
have also argued that in the Sinosauropteryx specimens themselves, it also shows that the bristly fibers they're within the body contour,
Yeah,
like
like-
the outlines
yes,
of the body.
that's
No, they are not. They are actually outside it, outlining the body.
Yeah. Very clearly.
Itself. So it's not, and they say that they're not rooted deeply like a feather or a hair would be, but it's more superficial. So it seems to be part of the skin.
They are embedded within the skin. Because we
There are
can
even
see
some
the
that are
skin.
embedded within the bone.
Yeah.
itself.
Yes, that's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Okay, before we move on and talk about how this relates to the pterosaurs, then let's just pause for a minute and mention that
I
for
forgot
those
all about the
listening,
pterosaurs.
Oh yeah, this was about pterosaurs.
I honestly forgot about that. They've been talking about the darn fluff so long, I forgot what they originally started with. Is this what they do?
Yes.
I hate
Yeah.
this. This is stupid.
Yes.
And his shirt's stupid too. It's ridiculously bright.
via audio, we
Honey,
You know,
I
if you've
have-
ever
It's
watched
been bugging
Scrubs,
me.
if you've
honey,
ever
I
watched
have
Scrubs, they say
graduation
that,
photos in a sweater like that.
They say that orange
Weird,
evokes
bright
hostility.
ass orange shirts.
Yes. With a blue undershirt even.
Give me the photo so I can fix it.
They're on my mom's wall.
Damn it! Well, tell your mom they went missing for a little bit, and then I'll just bring them back next year. It'll be fine. Let's fix it.
Audio, we hope you'll rate our podcast, and that will help other people to find us in the future.
No.
And if you're watching this by YouTube, then go ahead and give us a like if you're enjoying what you're watching. And
no, I'll report you if anything.
You gave that qualification if you're enjoying.
Now, I'm not going to click the thumbs down only because that counts as engagement, but I would otherwise, out of spite. Yeah, for those who don't know, thumbing down something helps the video. Because YouTube sees controversy and it's like, ooh.
I hate that. That's not what it's. Isn't that? I think that was the point of it. I thought the point was so that it would go away.
Nope. And yeah, I hate that they took away the like-dislike percentage too. Like, I absolutely hate that.
I have
That's
an
because a lot of
extension that brings
mainstream
it back.
Yeah, it's because so many mainstream stuff we're getting
Do you look
down
at the
to
code?
oblivion.
Do you look at the code?
I don't know how.
Seriously?
Yes.
You don't know how?
No.
Okay.
My parents weren't coders.
Give me the mouse. Give me. Ah.
Help.
Okay, so we're gonna do a thingy and
Inspect element.
We're going to inspect.
Yeah.
Does it give percentage? Does it give it? Show me. Show me the data. Where is it? I don't like how this is formatted. Ah!
Hey, Clint.
Your mouse is sensitive.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if it would show the data in the code.
You just get an extension
No.
that returns it's actually called return YouTube dislike.
Oh, there is an extension for it?
Yeah. It is literally called return YouTube dislike.
Maybe I'll get it in the future.
Okay. But yeah, now you know how to inspect element in C
Well, I knew how to do that, but okay.
Then why didn't you know what I was talking about?
I don't know, because you're weird.
It wasn't that weird. I was just saying, look at the code. How was that weird?
But
you can subscribe if you want to get content from Creation Ministries in the future. Great videos that we'll have going forward. And also, we'll be posting some links in the show notes below to give you more content, and you can interact with us in the comments as well. And we'll try to respond personally to you, and you can ask questions of us there in the show notes. So, but let's come to that question, then, Joel, of in the pterosaurs, these fibrous-like structures that they see, they actually have a different name for them. They call them pycnofibers.
Pycnofibers, yes.
What do the pycnofibers have to do with the dinosaur specimens?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, when they find these same fuzzy structures on pterosaurs, they call them pycnofibers. So what's with the latest paper is that they begin to realize that on these pterosaur fossils, they find 4 different forms of pycnofibers.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 out of these 4 forms are identical to dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And that's an issue for the evolutionists because evolution is built.
no, it's not at all. They're just homologous rather than analogous. It's that simple.
Why do ichthyosaurs, sharks, and dolphins all look very similar?
Well, that's different. That is analogy.
Yeah, that's like convergent evolution, like with mosasaurs and basilosaurs.
Yeah. Oh, what I'm talking about is how like humans have 5 fingers and so do bats. Right?
That's because
Like,
we're mammals.
this is a similar situation. Like they both also have hair. Pterosaurs and dinosaurs both had feathers. And honestly, for the longest time, in fact, most of the history of knowing about them, we only called them pycnofibers instead of feathers because they were specifically on pterosaurs. Like that was the only real distinguishing feature, was it is on a pterosaur and not a dinosaur or bird.
Oh.
Which is, again, part of why there's been a push recently to just
Get
call
rid
them
of them.
feathers because they are just feathers.
They're just weird feathers.
No, they are just feathers. They are identical to dinosaur feathers.
I meant weird looking.
They're identical.
Believe that dinosaurs evolved into birds, but they believe there are different types of dinosaurs that are unrelated. Not all dinosaurs evolve into birds according to evolution.
Yeah.
So some types they have feathers that supposedly evolved to birds. Some have this some have this dino fuzz that did not evolve into birds. But on this pterosaur, they find 3 different forms of dino fuzz in 3 different groups of dinosaurs that are unrelated.
Yeah.
Yet they're all present in one single pterosaur.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean?
I'm not even sure what the hell he just said there. Anyone else lost?
A bit, yeah.
I think he was doing the old gish gallop.
Wishy-washy. Wishy-washy, big words and terms. I'm smart.
And I wonder if subtitles might help.
Possibly.
Auto-generated.
Yeah, that might
It's
be
gonna
worse.
mess
But we'll
up a
see.
lot of words.
Why would an unrelated pterosaur have the same structures as 3 different groups of dinosaurs?
I don't know. You
So-
tell me.
So the only logical explanation for them is that that's not feathers in the first place.
Mhm.
Every
No.
single one of these.
No! No! I mean,
I
hell,
love
if you want to
auto-generated.
just like toss crocodilians out of archosaurs, like pterosaurs and dinosaurs are on the same branch of Archosauria. Like they're each other's closest relatives. Like they actually have their own little group called Ava Metatarsalia because they share foot morphology.
Why are they so
Must not say
stupid?
it. Must not say it. Must not say it.
Mhm.
Is it something about feet?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Some
Beams,
it's
eh?
just skin collagen. But evolutionists will not accept that because they believe that dinosaurs evolved into birds. And for many evolutionists, this idea of feathered dinosaurs have become very much like a sort of a religion to them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, that's what they do.
it's not a religion. It's look at the freaking fossil.
There is no evidence. It's just a religion, and religions are bad.
Says the
Wait.
other religious boy going
Oh?
off on a bramble.
Well, that's always how they make it sound. They always say, no, it's a religion. Get it out of the schools.
Okay, get yours out of the schools. I'm tired of your stupid ads. I get Spotify ads for like a Jesus podcast. I don't want that.
Hmm.
I'm calm. I'm calm.
Well,
Holy cow.
and when you come down to it, Jesus was very much ahead of his time. He was all for the LGBT movement because how else could you say someone who got nailed by a bunch of men, obviously well hung, and came back for more 3
What?
days later?
Beamsy, that is not the point. Also, be quiet.
Dang, I can't change your picture from here, Beamsy. Dang.
What? Why would you change
Does that
this picture?
require a bonk?
I don't know. I was going to put a tutu in the background or something.
Why?
It would be funny.
Yeah, you're weird. Whatever. I guess we listen to the idiots some more.
that's the best evidence for dinosaurs evolving to
I haven't
birds.
spoken
Now
that
There
much.
are
you're
no
getting
feathered
it, honey.
dinosaurs. The whole transitional idea
Yeah.
just collapses just like
And
that.
of course, this is controversial. Like among evolutionists themselves, they're sort of battling now
You
over
said it,
whether
so it
the
must be true.
pterosaur fossils should be, should they classify those as feathers? Like, what are some of the problems with saying that?
We're not battling that.
It's not battling.
No, it is feathers. They are feathers.
These are feathers actually on the pterosaurs themselves.
Well, first of all, these so-called pycnofibers, like you mentioned, they're not deeply rooted; they are on the skin, so they are completely unlike real feathers.
Yeah.
How
no,
deeply?
no.
How deeply rooted are down feathers?
Not very.
Not very.
No, they're really not.
Now, that said, they are still in the skin, and we can see that they are still in the skin.
You look at a damn chicken.
Mhm.
Bunch of its feathers.
Secondly, we find this not just on the body, but
Oh, that is an ugly pteranodon
That is.
with teeth.
That's some kid nightmare fuel there.
Oh, is that based on that old Charles Knight drawing?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Hmm.
Make it go away.
the wings are supposedly covered with a furry covering. And you
Okay,
think
why is
about
that?
it,
Yeah, why is that a problem?
yeah, because that's maladaptive. That's a disadvantage for this creature to survive. So, for example, ostriches, young ostriches, most of them actually die within the first year.
What?
Why? Because when their feathers get wet, they die of cold. They become hypothermic when it rains
Okay.
and things like that. So they have to take shelter under their mother's wings and
Mm.
things like that.
Was
So
he
if-
saying that
Okay.
But
That
their wings are completely
feathers
different.
on flying creatures are maladaptive?
On the wings specifically, yes.
Yeah,
Did
that
he
makes
say
total
wings
sense.
specifically? Because
Yeah, on the wings specifically is maladaptive.
As if it couldn't,
Let me do a Google.
Blue moon.
Did they remember that some of these things could basically run in their own strange way?
Oh, hey, look. Bat wings have hairs on them. That must be maladaptive.
Yeah, you're right. We all know that bats don't exist anymore because of the hair.
They're
on their
definitely
backs.
not the most successful mammal group by sheer species.
Of course not, because they're obviously extinct since they had feathers or hairs on their wings. Easy clap.
This is why these things are so infuriating yet so addicting. Just no, you're wrong on everything.
I'm not sure I would find this addicting. It's just currently infuriating. I'm not masochistic like you.
Yeah, it's fun to call people idiots.
Yes, but I do it for different reasons.
Yeah.
if these pterosaurs were really have feathers, not on their wings, it would be a huge issue for them to survive. And not only that, if you think about bats have the same wings, kind of like membrane-like wings, right?
These
But most of
subtitles
their
are
hair is on the
killing me.
body. They don't really
Right,
have
yeah.
hair on
So-
Seriously?
On the wings, they have hairs.
Hey, look! You can see it. They're a little fuzzy.
Wings are made of a membrane covered with microscopic hairs.
Did I miss it? Is he saying that they don't have hairs on them?
Yeah,
Or is
he's
he-
saying they
oh
don't.
my God.
As we're looking at a close up of the
Oh,
bat
no.
wings.
And
So
you
I've
can
heard
see
that
it.
bats do have hair, and they seem to, it's not a great hindrance to being aerodynamic,
Yes,
but the hair is not on the wings.
not on the wings. Yes, there's a very little hair on the wings.
Mhm.
And even with the hair on the body,
Yeah,
we
so
know
ignore
that
the hair
when
on
it
those
rains
wings.
and the bat is wet, they have to expend 20 times their energy just
Mm.
to fly.
Mm.
So imagine what would happen if even the wing membrane is covered with feathers and it gets wet.
Yeah. Okay, and so just to make it crystal clear,
Crystal. Oh, yes, crystal clear. Crystal clear. As what?
Oh, also, slight counterpoint. Penguins.
Yes,
Yeah.
penguins.
Yeah.
As we all know, penguins have featherless wings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
as
don't fly.
Benadryl
They swim
Cucumberbatch
great.
says, penguins.
Yes, these nice featherless wings.
Yes.
Right?
and in these pterosaur fossils, those alleged feathers or the pycnofibers, they are not just on the body but on the wings as well.
That's
So to
like-
say that their feathers would mean that the wings entirely covered in this
Yes,
hair-like structure, which is a bit hard to believe.
yes, that's right.
I think one of the other problems too, Joel, is that these bristly fibers we find in such a diverse
Mate, that is a lovely tutu, Babesy.
Yes, very, very floofy.
array of creatures that if they are genuine feathers, it doesn't fit any evolutionary pattern of, them all having come from a common ancestor. So
That's
it's
right.
like,
Well, you said it,
What?
so it must be true.
Also, why is the other?
It's another
Why
one of
do they
those-
have the other guy in like a little circle in the corner? That's very.
I don't know. Just to have them in, I guess.
No, it's making me think of old PBS kids shows and
Mhm.
like 70s TV shows, like the openings. I don't know why. It's weird. It's probably the
I think I'm gonna make
least
that one of my
least annoying
things.
thing about this video.
I'm gonna make that one of my things. Well, you said it, so it must be true.
Yeah, for anyone confused, this is our current phylogeny of dinosaurs for the most part, though I would put feathers down here.
Hmm.
But yeah, pterosaurs are the closest relatives to dinosaurs. It's not that hard.
like it shows up in different types of dinosaurs because they're classified into different groups based on their hip structure. So some of the so-called bird-hipped dinosaurs have these fibers. Other ones in the lizard
Getting into it.
have them.
Oh, are you by chance referring to Psittacosaurus?
Mhm.
Which, by the way, if anyone's curious, I have a short about them because they are the cutest little things. Yeah, they had a bushel of bristles on their tails. And they're tiny and they are cute and I love them.
And butthole speaking in 5.
They do indeed also have buttholes
Mhm.
and belly buttons. Like, actually
You're
confirmed,
right.
they have a belly button. Which is interesting. And over here,
Oh look,
they have bristles.
fluffness.
Also, this specimen actually has original color preserved.
Oh cool.
That is original color of the skin, actually. Confirmed via electron microscopes.
Nice.
Nice.
Uh-huh. Just look at this adorable little face.
I still like the flying gremlins more.
Yeah, but they're cute.
I mean, yeah,
They're still cute.
they're not as cute to me, but they're cute.
You've got the fibers, as you mentioned, showing up in sharks
I want a
and
plushie.
dolphins and ichthyosaurs and the pterosaurs as well.
Yes.
So even if there are subtle differences between some of those things, the pterosaur.
Oh, that was an ugly
Yes.
pterosaur. Sorry, I got
So even
it.
if there
Oh, that is ugly.
Where the hell did you get that
Horribly
from?
are subtle
Uh,
differences,
90s?
Mid-90s bad documentary back, or maybe early 2000s PS2 game.
I was gonna
Too
say
Too many
that-
polygons for
that's
PS2.
probably like a Answers in Genesis creation right there.
Probably.
between some of those things, the pterosaur fossils tend to show that really these are all basically the same types of structures, and it makes no sense to say that they all inherited these fibers from a common ancestor. Otherwise, like you'd have to push that back so far in the evolutionary history. It's like feathers
There's
were
no
around
problem
then,
with
like
that.
millions of years before birds
Nope.
Yes,
came into
that's right.
existence.
Yes.
The other possibility from their perspective is that these are all just
He just said it makes no sense for there to be feathers before birds. Why?
Yeah, why would
Yeah, like-
no?
Justify that statement, please.
Explain.
Well, you said it, so it must be true.
Oh, yeah, Turok. It looked like a pterosaur from a Turok game. Except Turok had better models than that, I think.
Mm,
I don't want to revisit them. They're precious memories.
yeah, I don't remember the nostalgia. I did
purely
not-
coincidences that on separate branches of the evolutionary tree, all these different creatures
Evolve at
evolved
the same
these
time,
structures,
in the
and then
exact
just
same
by chance,
structure.
that's also hard to believe.
It's hard to believe, and like we say, we also find this in marine creatures.
Mhm.
So that
Which,
explanation
it's
doesn't work.
obviously they didn't have feathers, so yeah, I think that
Yeah, marine
basically
creatures
shows
don't
that the
have
creationists
feathers.
have the best interpretation of the
Yes.
fossil evidence.
Uh,
So I guess we can sum up by just saying that
So yeah, obviously, after looking under the microscope and the fossils, that they didn't have feathers when they clearly are right there.
Can I just point out that they didn't make any of these points during their
Yeah, no.
coherent babble?
No, no,
No, they
did
said
not
them.
make any of these.
they
yeah,
didn't
they said
really support them.
said them.
No,
Yeah, they
they
just
really
Cited no
didn't.
evidence. They're just like,
They
oh,
stated those
science
things,
says
but they
this?
didn't support them.
Nuh-uh.
Oh, I don't think we got anything for the biblical understanding of Genesis, though.
No,
Yeah,
they
did they,
didn't,
did
which
they
is
even
actually
say
kinda
the
nice.
word Bible?
I
'Cause I
don't.
don't
Only in the
remember
beginning.
any reference to the Bible.
Maybe at the beginning.
No.
Only in their introductions when they were saying who they were doing this for. That's the only extent
Ah,
you heard about Bible.
That's fair.
Well,
there's no
they
reason to
said it.
think that these features on the
Sorry, were you saying something?
Oh no, I was joking.
pterosaurs are
Yeah.
genuine feathers, just
No
like in
jokes
the
allowed.
dinosaurs, as other evolutionary experts have argued. They're just decaying
Skin
a protein
collagen.
called collagen
Yes.
in the skin. And so the evidence that we do have really aligns with a straightforward understanding of Genesis, that God made dinosaurs and birds distinctly, supernaturally created them on separate days. And so there are no really evolutionary relationships between these
No,
different types of organisms. All right. Well, we thank you all for watching or listening today. And
He said because they made them on separate days that there'd be no. What in the?
Just because.
Can I swear?
Well,
Can I swear?
Just a sec.
Can I
Just
swear?
because you brought up collagen doesn't mean there's any connecting tissue there. Now you get it.
Can I swear?
Yes. I've been swearing this whole time. Go ahead.
Yeah, the fact that he says, "Oh, they're made on different days," that is fucking bullshit. That there's no reason that there would be lack of connection. That makes zero fucking sense. It is
And-
stupid.
And we all know
What
the
if you
first
made
thing.
cats on a different day and then lions on the next? They're not related anymore.
Well, no, those are both land creatures. They would be on day 6.
Listen, I'm a little rusty on some of this shit. I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to give an analogy here.
Is 6 according to Genesis 1 or Genesis 2?
True.
Pardon
At
me
least
for
the
being
first point's
rusty
true.
on something I haven't practiced in like almost a decade.
You said at least our first point's true?
Yeah.
There's no reason we should believe these are real feathers on the specimens?
Yeah, because they're lithified remains of feathers on the specimens.
Oh, yeah.
So he's being a
Okay,
smartass.
He's being pedantic. He's being beansy.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a kind of true point because they're not feathers anymore. They're now just the lithified impressions of feathers on the specimen.
Is this how they find the courage to move on? They find these weird little tiny bits that he leaves.
You mean the
inspiration.
creationists?
Yeah, as inspiration to continue with their stupidity.
Yeah, they find the tiny little bits of science that they think support their points. It's called cherry picking.
It's
I was
usually
mostly making a joke
extraordinarily
about Beansy,
outdated.
but yeah.
science, too.
Yeah, it usually from like the 90s or 70s. They love to quote stuff from the 70s.
1800s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's that
There-
one
there-
source they use all the time? It's like from what is it called? Oh, yeah, the Bible.
The worst book club in history is.
Or they'll quote something from Origin of Species and say it doesn't hold up with our modern theory of evolution.
Really? I wonder
That's not
why.
problematic.
Has it passed its 150 anniversary yet?
Oh, not
I
good.
think it did about 3
Oh,
years
it
ago.
has.
Oh,
Let's see. It was published in 1859. So absolutely has. That's 165 years, I think.
65 years.
Yep.
What weird that would be out of date.
The most annoying thing is most of the references they try and use are always older than 20 years. They don't really use anything that's really up to date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would they? It wouldn't
How
agree
old
with
is
them.
this video?
Mm.
Roughly.
1 year ago.
Ay.
Yep, January 2022. Oh, so actually almost 2 years.
Mm.
My baby's waking up. I'm going to have to dip now.
Yeah, that's fair. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun. See you guys
I'm
later.
fighting the cat with my microphone.
I guess that is a good point to wrap up. Thank you for joining, everyone. Hope you had fun. I guess if I can send people off to do anything, I mentioned a short I did about Pterosaurs. You can find it on my channel if you want to see it. That's nice. Please do the YouTube things of the liking and subscribing. And at the last second of the twilight hour, we have a Mark Reed.
You just got back. What I missed? Start again. Start again.
All of it. We can't start again. We just finished.
How dare
You
you?
missed it.
How dare you leave me in the lurch?
Listen,
no,
he
it's fine.
invited you.
Yeah, I had to take my car, and it was misbehaving and being horrible. But it's fine now.
I guess
It's
that's
good.
important.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to die in a fiery crash. Thank you. And if I do, it has to be like a plane, like the soccer team from Peru, and I have to eat people.
Yeah,
Just
something
saying.
actually cool.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I mean, if you
know,
die in that, then wouldn't they be eating you?
Sure, why not? I'm all for it. I'm down. All right. I would like to know that my this got real morbid real fast. What? But yeah, I
You
just
didn't
called
warn
him.
them about my sense of humor, did you?
Fine.
Does he have to? I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, honey, they
You're
know
on a
you're dating
screen
me.
with Beansy. I mean, how bad can it be? Love you, Beansy. No, I just got back, and I just want to come in and say, yeah, I'm sorry if I couldn't make it, but it's amazing, and I'm going to watch it later. And do like and subscribe. I'm sorry for being a late Larry. I do apologize.
You're fine. You're fine.
You just missed out on the bonkings.
Yeah, there were a few, and then Beamsy put on a tutu.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, wear your tutu of shame.
Don't say it like that. He'll enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, how is that shame? Darling,
What is
I
wrong
dressed
with
up as Frankenfurter when I was at high school, and I've got photographs to prove it.
Nice.
What? Wait, what?
I guess you'll have to send them so I can
What?
show
No,
her.
no, I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it. I just didn't understand.
Well, at any rate, thank you for joining, folks. It's nice seeing you all tonight. And have a good evening or day for the Aussies out there.
Yeah.
Adieu.
Hour and a half, and I get to feed